It just seemed like he had so much going on, and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know? Into it, and I did not like it and did not want to go back.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah, it's like right off the highway in Frederick.
Near the streets?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I like really had to. Like off the top of my head, no.
Do you know the street name?
No. I would have to like drive around in there to get there.
Okay.
Okay, well, that ended abruptly now, didn't it? Okay, hold it just one moment, please. And stop screen. And hello, everybody, and welcome to Watch the Obsession live stream and chat. Today we are beginning with wet hair, as we do sometimes. And welcome. I'm so glad that you're all here, everybody in the live chat and discussion. Please get comfortable. Come on in. Feel free to speak your opinion. The only thing that we ask on this channel is that you're respectful to one another, to the victims, and to their families. So this evening, we are going to be talking about the Watts case. As you know, this channel called Watts the Obsession hasn't been talking as much about the Watts case recently as certainly we did and when we started, but as Kevin, and welcome Kevin, and some other people had just commented in the beginning there, it's been 5 years. This past August 13th was the 5-year anniversary of the tragedy that took the lives of Shanann Watts, Cece Watts, Bella Watts, and unborn baby Nico Watts. So this evening, we're going to be talking about an event that happened in the Watts life that is referred to as Nutgate. So the premise, I'm trying to figure out what is like shining on me there. Is that my hair? I don't know. That's strange. Okay. So the premise is Shanann Watts had always maintained that one of her two daughters, Cece Watts, was allergic to tree nuts. And apparently this allergy was an anaphylactic allergy and it was absolutely terrible. And if Cece ate tree nuts, it could possibly be the end of her life. So not only did this cause a great amount, there's a big impact on her family, of course, her husband, her other daughter, Bella, the psychology of Cece herself. There was an event called Nutgate when Shanann claims that Chris's mother, Cindy Watts, allowed Cece or gave Cece something that had tree nuts in it. Therefore, she put her life in jeopardy. So, as we're getting started into this topic, let's take a listen to what Chris Watts' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, had to say about what she knew about this event. And again, welcome to everybody that's here. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, moderators. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, come on in, get comfortable. Again, we just asked that you're respectful to one another, to the victims, and to their families. So let's bring in said Nicole Kessinger, also known as the sexy empanada. Now, this is just about a minute or two, I believe, before she starts talking about Nutgate, but it picks up where we left off in the last live stream, which I think was about last week. And sorry, I've been MIA for a week or so. I was just wrapping up my summer school rotation of what I am doing, and it was very intense, and I just didn't have time to get to YouTube, but I'm back, and I have 3 weeks off, so get ready, okay? And please do, if you can do an audio check, let me know how that audio is.
What he was trying to achieve. And so, I don't know. He didn't seem to have a problem with it. He liked where he was at with all of that.
So that was your main conversation Saturday.
That was like a big chunk while we were there, is like us actually going through, because I was like going through each item, like, why are your ratios off?
Do you know where his kids or wife were that night?
On Saturday?
Yeah, his kid. Well, you know his kids are with the babysitter. Do you know where his wife is?
She's in Arizona.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. Do you know what she's doing there?
I think she's on a business trip. He didn't even tell me right away. He actually told me, I think, like on Saturday or something. It might have been like Friday or something. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I was like really surprised where he's like, hey, like, I'm going to try to get a babysitter if you want to hang out or something like that. And I was like, why do you need a babysitter? Your wife's home. He's like, no, she's out of town. I was like, oh,
okay. Is there much conversation regarding that, her on being on a trip, or the children on during those conversations?
Not really. I just asked him what time she was coming home on Sunday, and he just said really late.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about with that.
Okay. So your conversations mainly health related.
Mm-hmm.
You guys return to your house, and then he goes home, and then you talk to him for a few hours on Sunday.
Did I? Are you asking me, or are you telling me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I was like, I don't even know. Someday, honestly. So wait a minute. That was Saturday. We're talking about Saturday. We're not talking about Sunday right now.
Okay, so you're still on.
So see here, this is what you're talking about during the last live stream. This is an example of how time and time again during this interview and any other, she skirts the question when even asked directly about that 111-minute phone call that was the evening before the tragedy happened, just hours before the tragedy happened, when Shanann was on her way home.
On Saturday.
Yes.
You guys have a phone conversation when he gets home?
That was the day that he got the babysitter and I went out to dinner, not Sunday. Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure you got your days right. So Saturday, yes, we went out. He had the babysitter. He went home. I'm sure we did. We always talk on the phone. And honestly, I mean, Mark asked me that the other day. He's like, how long are you on the phone? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Like, you're going to have to look at the records, to be honest with you. Like, so much.
You like to talk. I can tell a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
400 when she was young. She'd crank out about 400 words a minute, gusts up to 600. A little thinking, yeah, man.
You're a talker, so I'm letting you talk.
Can you use the restroom?
Let me show you where it's at.
Can you
So-
give me some water while you're out there with
Sure.
them, please? Thank you.
Another bottle.
Let's
At least one.
move to Sunday. Well,
Okay.
let me reverse something. Your conversation with the children, or about the children, was there ever talk about medical concerns with either of the children?
Well, I know Cece is allergic to not peanuts, like pine nuts.
So she has a nut allergy.
Yes.
Did they take meds?
Yeah, I know that she had like an EpiPen, but as far as I know, she didn't have any meds. But I never asked. Like I was just told like she has a pretty severe allergy, and
Enough to carry an EpiPen. That's pretty severe.
yeah. While we're on this, so when he was in North Carolina, this is all like hearsay now because it's like this is not a conversation. Like he's telling me this stuff, but who knows exactly what happened. But he went out there to go see his family and her family. And while he was in town before he went out to North Carolina, I guess his mother had accidentally like not exposed her to something with nuts, but had like given a product, I think it was like ice cream, to a different kid that could have traces of nuts or something. I don't know. But it was like his daughter was fine, but she was like in the range of contamination. And I think his wife was very upset about that. And when he got to North Carolina, he told me that he was supposed to spend like half time with them, half the time with her family, and that was supposed to be what it was. I don't know. But he said that he went to go see his family and they weren't answering the phone for like a day or two before he went out there. And then when he got there, there was a note on the door that said, son, if you step by, we're at the beach. And they ignored him for like most of the time that he was out there. And
His own family?
yes, his mom, his dad, and
What do
his sister.
What's the significance? Do you know why?
Yeah, he said, and again, I don't know what is true with this man anymore and what's not, but he told me that like leading up to it, I was like, well, why are your folks like ignoring you? And I was like really concerned about this. Like every single day he would talk to me when he was out there. And I was like, you talked to your family today? You talked to your family today? Did you talk to your dad? What happened? Did you talk to him? No, I didn't. Or yeah, I talked to my mom. Well, what'd she say? Are you going to hang out with him? Like I wanted him to see his people because it's important. Family is an important thing. You know, it just needs to function properly. And
Sure.
and so I was like, well, and he was like, well, they're ignoring me. And I was like, what do you think happened? And he's like, I'm not really sure, but I think something was said between my wife and them during that incident. And he's like, because
The
every time,
peanut
yes,
or
that happened
nuts.
before he got there, yes. And he's like, because every time that I try to, I talk about possibly going over there to see if they're home, she gets upset about it. And I was like, okay. And he told me that his mom and his wife did not get along at all. He said that his mom didn't even show up to his wedding because she's like really did not care for Shanann. So again, I don't know what's true and what's not, but I just know that there was like some tension there.
Mhm.
And again, like that part is like, I feel like it's almost third party. So that's why it's
Sure.
like I didn't even
Well, but
bring
it
up
came from him
later.
to you, so it's not. It is something that is whether it's important or not, we can validate that. I'm sure we will be having some conversations with family. You know, what does it mean? I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know either, but I just know
so
like,
maybe I don't know.
well, and then he ended up seeing them on the last like full day that he was there, and they told him supposedly that
Now, take note of that. Her saying that he ended up seeing them, his family, Chris Watts seeing his Watts family on the last day he was there. So take note of that, please.
she had gotten really upset and then screamed and yelled in front of Chris's sister's kids that are very young, and to his mom and to his dad, and said like, you're never going to see Chris again, you're never going to see me, you're never going to see the babies, and just like threatened them, and then like walked off. And I guess that was the incident that happened prior to him coming out there, and then she didn't tell him about it.
Mhm.
She just like let it go, and then he just spent all week trying to figure out why his family was like not trying to be involved.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not sure. That was like it just feels really third party, so it's hard for me to like talk about because
Sure.
like, I don't know how
That's okay.
much validation.
So
there is and all that.
beyond the nut allergy for CC, did you know of any other? Did she take meds that you know of other than carrying an EpiPen?
His kids or his wife?
I mean, his children.
No.
And now, well, if you know anything about his wife's medical conditions, if she had any.
No, I've like read in the newspaper they keep saying, "Oh, she had medical conditions," and I'm like, "Is that a misprint? Are they talking about CC, or is that just something else I don't know?"
So you don't know anything about
Nope.
Shanann having any kind of medical problems?
Nope.
Okay. Covered Saturday. So there's a phone call Saturday night, actually, from, it can't be Saturday, it had to be Sunday. I wrote that down quickly. Sunday night. Is there anything else you think, let me just back up from the Saturday where you guys had a meal at the Lazy Dog to prior for the 6 weeks that you guys were serious. And although your dad's here and I think you're probably pretty comfortable, your relationship with Chris was, can you describe your relationship?
I mean, when he was with me, I considered it to be fairly healthy. It was open communication, and it was what I thought was honest, and it was very calm. It was respectful. We got along really well. He gave me my space when I needed it. I gave him his, and anytime like he wanted to take care of it, like anytime that his kids could be in like his life for hours or days or whatever, whenever they were home, I made sure that I wasn't a presence in his life so that he could be the best dad that he needed to be. And I mean, I thought what we had, it was very comfortable for me. I enjoyed it. I think he did very much as well.
You guys, 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was, you guys have an intimate relationship during that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see, let me just bring myself back into here. And so welcome everybody who is just joining us, everybody who is in the live stream chat and joining in on the discussion. I'm so super glad you're here. Everybody who's watching the replay also, welcome. So let's just listen. Okay, so you heard Nicole Kessinger talking about, well, this thing happened, you know, this thing with the nuts, and his mother, Chris Watts' mother, Cindy Watts, and Shanann weren't getting along. They were really angry at each other. And the whole time that Chris was down there, he didn't see his family until the last full day that he was here. Now, the whole idea when Shanann went down there for 6 weeks was that she was going to spend some time with her family, and she was going to spend some time also with Chris's family so everybody could get to see the kids. So it was going to be on the weekends. They were going to stay with the Watts family, Chris Watts' parents, and during the week, she was staying with the R family with her own parents. And when Chris Watts came down, they were all supposed to go on that vacation to Myrtle Beach. You may have seen some of the home video footage of that. And it was supposed to be the R family and the Watts family there. Well, the Watts family didn't end up going. Now, something significant happened on that last full day when Chris Watts was in North Carolina, when he finally got to see his parents after all that time that, according to him and the Watts family, Shanann was not allowing him to see his family. We're going to look at some text messages that also back up that idea. So let's take a look at a video that's going to show us what happened on the evening of that last night. He was in North Carolina when he saw his family. So let me just go ahead and bring that into the stream. And here it is. What exactly do we know about the short note that was written by Chris Watts on August 6th of 2018 that says, "To whom it may concern, if anyone gets this letter, I would never do anything to hurt myself or my children or my wife. If anything happens to me, please investigate my wife." And then it's signed by Chris Watts. So what do we know about the timeline surrounding this letter or before this letter? Well, we know that Chris Watts and Shanann Watts took a trip to San Diego to go on one of those trips for Lavelle, selling that product Thrive, you know, that product that they sold, from June 22nd to June 26th. And then Shanann got home to Denver, picked up her kids, her dad turned right around on a plane and went across the country to North Carolina, where she planned to stay through the middle of August. Well, we know that according to Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger's accounts at least, that they started talking in the beginning of June 2018. But it was that first night that Shanann was away from the house on June 27th that Chris Watts went over to Nicole Kessinger's house and stayed the night. After that, as we know, their love affair was like flames ablazing, hearts and sparkles all over the place. They were together all the time, staying at one another's house, or rather, he was staying at her house all of the time, and the two seemed to be inseparable. About a week and a half into the physical relationship between Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger, from what we know at least, was the event known as Nutgate. Now, I'm making a video right now. It's in production. It's going to tell the entire story of Nutgate, so I'm not going to get into it in too much detail right here. But what we do know is on this date, Shanann accuses her mother-in-law, Cindy Watts, of allowing Cece to have some food product. The stories always change. That's why I'm being vague. Let's say it's vanilla ice cream, because I've heard that a few times, that contained tree nuts in it. Therefore, the assertion was that Cindy Watts, Chris' mother, Shanann's mother-in-law, the grandmother of Bella and Celeste, was putting Cece's life in danger. From there, a whole series of events started to spiral out of control, and let's listen to what Chris Watts has to say about this series of events.
Just felt like I was more anger than anything else. Like there was emotion to it at first, and then it just felt like it was just anger. It was just like like there was no love there. We didn't know it wasn't ourselves.
Really? Anger from you or anger from her?
I think it was more anger from me, and more like desperation from her to she knew something wasn't right. Like like when the whole thing with my parents happened with my parents called it Nutgate.
What happened?
Nutgate.
What's that?
The peanut.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatnot.
Oh, with her family?
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Nutgate.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that either.
Yeah. That was like another out. Like, maybe I could have just like stopped everything and just kind of concentrated on helping like whatever happened there. Because like, Shannon had a story, my mom had a story. Whatever happened, I'll probably ask my 10-year-old nephew. Probably can tell me what actually happened.
Well, and they both have their feelings for good reasons, and they both didn't see it the other person's way. And
Yeah, and like maybe I didn't talk to my parents from then on until like August 6th, and like my dad took that whole week off.
you didn't talk to your parents from then on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like Janelle was like, do not talk to them, do not call them, do not do anything.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
So based on what Chris Watts said there, we know that from July 8th was when Nutgate happened, well, to when Chris Watts arrived in North Carolina, he wasn't allowed to see his family, according to him, his parents. The kids weren't allowed to see his parents until August 6th. So what happened on August 6th? We know that he saw his family on August 6th, and we also know that this note was authored, according to the penmanship here, on August 6th. So let's listen to something that Jamie Watts says in one of her prison phone calls with Chris Watts. This is a very emotional part of the phone call, and notice what she mentions here.
Exactly.
So you can always change. So, but our love for you will never change.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear everybody say that.
We mean it. We really mean it. So that's what love is, That's what it is.
Yeah.
I really wish I could go back to Mom's porch
I know, me
and just keep you. I really wish I could just go back there and keep you.
Me too. Trust me.
I feel like God gave us that day.
You did.
Now, it only makes sense that that day on Mom's porch that she wishes she could return back to, and she just wants to keep her brother, she says here, would be August 6th, because Chris Watts had told us that he wasn't allowed to see his family until August 6th. And we know that the Watts family headed home from North Carolina to Frederick, Colorado the very next day. day on August 7th. So, what exactly happened? What conversation went down between Chris Watts and his parents and his sister and whoever else may have been there that caused him to write this note and to leave it in his mother's care? We may never know. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And keep on a lookout for that full-length Nutgate documentary. Okay, so as you heard there, what happened? Well, let's see, let's go back somewhere a little more relevant. Well, here, let me just bring myself into, well, no, I want the background though. I guess I'll get the background with a single layout. That's okay. Okay, so what happened there? And guys, I'm so sorry. My chat is stuck. And so you know what? I'm going to have to refresh this. Please just hold on. Hope this works. Hold on. Okay, all right, awesome. Okay, now my chat is refreshed. So what we heard there was on that last night when Chris Watts finally got to see his family, you know, when he's in prison and his sister Jamie is on the phone with him, she's saying, oh, I just wish we could go back to that night at Mom's porch. Well, it had to be that night that he finally got to see him because that would be the only night that would make sense. And that night was also on the night when he wrote that letter, if anything happens to me or to my family, to look at his wife. So we have to assume that he learned something there on that evening on his mom's porch that caused him to write that letter, because that's not just something that you just do, right? So Sunshine for You, thank you so much for the super chat. Sunshine for You, and welcome. I'm so glad that you finally got to make the live stream. Sunshine for You says, I believe that Nutgate was Shanann Watts' last ditch effort to keep CW. Unfortunately, it was too late. And little did she know she didn't want to keep him, right? I totally agree with you. And Eddie, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Watts the Obsession family. And Eddie also, oh, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So now let's listen to what Chris Watts' mother had to say about her perception of Nutgate. Or, I mean, her story, because she was a person who was in the story. She was one of the two main players in the story. It was Shanann and Mom Cindy, right? See, now let me just get to, whoops. I got to look at the transcript here, see when, no, didn't do it. Okay. Wait, go forward. Welcome or payments, not counting insurance. Oops. And apparently, death. It's true. The most he saw was Cece coughing sometimes when she ate. Okay, here, this is right. Their lives seemed to need for that. Their lives seemed. Sorry, guys. And she diagnosed them with asthma. Finally, the girls were doing great. Other than earplugs put in the girls and them being very allergic to tree nuts, which would have caused them death. It's true. Both girls suffered from failure to diagnose or to get the right diagnosis that people in their lives seemed to need for them. Neither of the girls ever displayed any asthmatic symptoms when I was there. And Chris admits now that
you want yucky?
The most he saw was Cece coughing sometimes when she ate too fast. Bella did not suffer from any allergies at all. Despite this, we were told that whatever Cece was allergic to, and sometimes that was chocolate, sometimes peanuts, and later tree nuts, Bella was not allowed to have any of those things either. Young to know all of this, that Chris or Shanann told her that if Cece ate coconut, she wouldn't wake up. I wish no one had done that. She was a very... Now, I just want to tell you, I'm reading from the book we believe actually Kathleen Hewson wrote, somebody took it and made it their own. But anyway, regardless, it was Cindy Watts' memoir. And I'm reading from the last lost chapter of that book, if you weren't clear on that, okay?
Be quiet, gentle, frightened little girl. And after the age of 2, she never looked healthy. And her hair wouldn't grow, and she was self-conscious about it. Talking about Bella, of course, now I know she had the added worry of her sister dying and on her little shoulders. And Mama Bear, Shanann called her. She wasn't a mama bear. She was a baby. But she was right to worry, I guess, because the sister did die. Didn't she? Chris killed her, killed them both. I don't think that they had any allergies at all. I don't think they should have been dosed up with Tylenol every single night of their lives. And here's another thing that haunts me. The last day of their lives, they went to a birthday party and there was cake and ice cream. And those babies had to stand and look at it, and none for them, not even on the last day of their lives. Celeste was born with her esophagus too small, and they went in 3 times to enlarge it. Steroids like crazy to help her breathe for 1.5 or longer years. And until they were diagnosed with asthma, and then Shanann with her neck surgery, which was out of pocket. It was $25,000 they owed. So that's where so much of the debt was. Sandy must be referring to the second go around of debt here, because Shanann's neck surgery was after that bankruptcy. It was elective and so costly, as were most of the tests on the girls. If Cece was born with anything wrong with her, it sure never showed. She was the healthiest, most active, and happiest little girl. I hate that she went through all of those procedures and all of those drugs from birth. Both girls were left to cry it out. Shanann said it was something like baby wise. I thought it was horrible. 2-hour naps, unless they were at daycare. Drugs at 6 p.m. every single night, sick or not. Bed at 6:30 or 7 at the latest. Those loud rain machines. I was told to never go in when they cried. No rocking ever. I'd watch Bella crawl out of her bed in the dark and crawl to her bookshelf.
And guys, this is true. There are pictures of it. This definitely did happen.
Then sit in the corner in the dark, holding a book she couldn't read in the dark. If the children had really had asthma, wouldn't having let them cry like that set off the asthma or Cece's choking? I noticed that when we would FaceTime every night for 4 years straight. Looking back, when we would FaceTime Chris, he'd be putting the phone all over the ceiling, the floors, etc. I said, Christopher, what are you doing? And then he would FaceTime normally. Before Shanann came to North Carolina, Celeste had a rash on her private area, and she went to go get a face cloth and some cream. Chris had the phone. I said, Chris, let me see how bad it is, being that I am an aide. And I still couldn't see it. So I said, wait a minute, let me move my screen, because I couldn't see. So he put it right on her private parts. Oh, I was mad. All I can say to this is that they were very strange. They were a strange family. Chris, Shanann, and her parents, or I should say, at least they were strange to me. From the beginning, I had never seen anyone who would never put that phone down. And I do mean never put that phone down the way Shanann did. Meals, conversations, you name it. The phone was on, and it cost us an unpleasant incident the weekend of the engagement. The phone sent Ronnie and I pictures of our son's penis. The phone was on not just when she was making her videos, Her parents did indeed FaceTime with them constantly. Although Chris did what Shanann said always, he did never warm up to the videos and the constant FaceTiming and phone pics, pictures of every single minute.
Huh.
We didn't FaceTime every night. It would have been painful for one thing, because neither Ronnie or Chris talk much, and seeing how the kids ate dinner isn't necessary. Okay, I get it. I get why they did it, but why did they take their phone into the bathroom? It seems odd to me. But then why did they take pictures every single time the girls were at the hospital? It was just all so weird. So this was an attractive story that became an unattractive story.
Okay, so sorry, I went a little deeper than I wanted to into that, and I actually wanted to get the soundbite where we hear Cindy Watts herself talking about the story, and I can't find the standalone video that I have, but I'm going to play a little excerpt of a previous live stream where we talked about it. So just bear with me, and I'm bringing it on in. Thank you guys so much for being in here and for being respectful in chat, and I am going to open up the panel. If anyone does want to come up here and comment, you're welcome to do so. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see where we are with this.
Because people were still at.
It is, Ashley.
Look at this child. Hi, Lala HK. Nice to see you.
Oh, let's see. Let's get to the part. Ah. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait. I think it's right here. I think. Whoops.
That's the truth. So, resolved, right? No. Strongly about it.
Oh my goodness. Where is
Like
it?
the right thing. Sorry. While the retelling these stories to rise to her.
Oh my goodness. I'm so
but when
sorry. I totally lost track of
COVID
where
was
this
really
was.
hard. Observing these things.
Maybe this is it. Let's see.
The learned behavior that they were developing, I think, pretty quickly as the learned behavior.
You ready?
I have these.
Oh, you know what?
Is-
This isn't the right one. Oh my gosh.
Ready
Okay.
for Bella?
Sorry, guys.
A holly jolly Christmas. Throw the heart.
All right. So we're just going to go. Oh, let me pause it there. Okay. So I'm sorry. So we're just going to go a little bit out of order, and I'm going to give you, let's see, kind of the punchline here, but it really isn't, because many of you have been following along on this topic or on this channel, and you probably kind of know what's going on. So here, let me get to the right spot. And welcome to everybody who just came in. Oh, wait, this is it. Hold it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, here, we're going to play this. All right, hold it. Okay, let me enlarge this for you. Whoops. Got to bring it into the stream first. There's always something to pick from on Watts the Obsession when the topic is Watts. All right, here you go.
Oh, I'll stay with her. Don't take her away.
I'm not taking her away.
Hi guys, welcome back to Watts the Obsession. So let's talk about CC Watts' apparent nut allergy. For those of you who have followed the case, much had to do with Cece's nut allergy, including the infamous event Nutgate that happened on July 8th of 2017, just about a month before the tragic Watts family murders. And that event in itself, which we're not going to get into in this video, may have been pivotal, critical in the eventual outcome of this family in crisis tragedy. What this video today seeks to do and will do is to demystify one thing. Were there nuts contained in the pro bars that Cece Watts was eating on camera? She actually ate these pro bars while being video recorded by Shanann several times, and we know exactly what kind of pro bars Cece was eating because she told everyone, Shanann told everyone, the package was there, the box was there, the pro bars were there. The child eating the pro bars were video recorded. So here's a little Watts trivia question for you guys. What was Celeste Watts' favorite flavor of Lavelle's Thrive Pro Bar?
Okay, I'm going to keep you in suspense because I found the one I actually wanted to play first. And this is going to make a little more sense, especially if you're just learning this story, or even if we're just telling this story chronologically, it's going to make a little more sense. All right. Here we go. All right. Thanks for bearing with me, guys.
Okay.
Birthday cake. Oh my God. Those girls are so precious. What a freaking tragedy, man. Oh.
As Pro bars. Pro bars.
Pro bars?
Yeah.
Pro bars. Do you guys love pro bars?
Yeah.
Okay, let me break it up. What kind is this one?
Blue.
Blue? That's right. What kind though?
Apple on this.
What flavor is this one?
Chocolate.
No. Is it birthday cake?
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
Oops. Family murders occurred on August 13th, 2018. Nutgate is an event that happened on July 8th, 2018, just a little over a month before the murders occurred. Now, there are many different versions of Nutgate that have been told by Shanann, by Chris, by Shanann's friends, by Chris's mother, by Shanann's mother, and other people that were connected to this family. Although we don't know exactly what happened, one thing that we do know is that it was a critical event, possibly a pivotal event, that influenced the eventual outcome in this terrible tragedy. Let's listen to what Chris Watts' mother, Cindy Watts, had to say about this event that some refer to as Nutgate. What I'm going to be playing are excerpts from an audio recording from the channel Miss Mensa. Miss Mensa had a relationship with Cindy Watts, and this is from a phone call that Miss Mensa had with Cindy Watts. Definitely go check out her channel and subscribe. All right, now listen carefully. The audio isn't the best. I did what I could to rework it so it's as clear as possible, but this is a recorded phone call between Miss Mensa and Cindy Watts. So, just understand that.
There was a bag of pistachios that I had for my grandson, and they were on the countertop, and she said, "Oh my gosh, Mimi, you have pistachios." I said, "I know. Put them on top of the safe." And she put them on top of not on top of the safe, but on top of the refrigerator. And that was the end of it. It was a bag that was unopened for my grandson that I forgot that I had on the countertop. And that was all it was. And there was no bags of peanuts, tree nuts, or anything out in the open. My house is small, so small that wherever Bella and Cece were, you knew where they were. They were right there. We have a very small house, and there is no way anybody could have gotten into anything, not even my refrigerator, without me knowing.
Well,
I was all there.
Well, did you give the girls ice cream?
I gave, Dylan went in the freezer and got a vanilla ice cream, a Walmart vanilla ice cream. And yeah, Dylan did get that.
And that was the big culprit, was the Walmart
And
vanilla?
that was the culprit. That was when Cece had a meltdown and wanted the same thing. But Cece could have had ice cream because we went to Walmart when they came here, and she had ice cream, not in the same cup, but she had ice cream, and she could have gotten that ice cream. And yes, I did say that you can't always have what you want. I did say that, because Cece had the ice cream that all Shanann had to do was go in there and get Cece her ice cream and put it in a bowl. Or, yeah,
Right, right. And that's right.
That's all she had to do. And nothing would have come of it.
And you took her to Walmart, right? And you spent a ton of money
Yeah,
so that she could have.
That's what Melissa Man was saying right here. She's going to be talking about it when she listened to everything that she says that she did to make Shanann and Bella and Celeste be more than welcome in her little home.
Exactly what she wanted there.
Absolutely. When they came down here, I said, let's go to Walmart and get everything that you need. And they got everything they wanted and they needed. Everything. There was nothing that I don't know what I could have done.
So at the point that
That's all I could have done.
at the point that the ice cream started happening, then your daughter-in-law could have gone to the freezer, picked out the ice cream that was on her approved list,
Absolutely.
and scooped out.
She could have gotten her the ice cream. That's all there was nothing she couldn't have had that she didn't already have in our house. She had everything that they needed, and I did the best we could. That's all. I don't know what else I could have done it.
So when the ice cream came out, your daughter-in-law started yelling?
Yeah. She said, I know that this isn't fair. I know this is hard for you, Stacey. And she went on and on and on and on. And that's when I said, you can't have everything that you want. Go back in there. Go give her the ice cream she needs. That she wants. That was it. I don't know what else I could have done.
What did she say to you before she left?
She said, she came charging down the hallway and said, you tried to kill my child. And that's when it was over. I was done. I said, I can't take this anymore. I didn't try to kill anyone. I didn't try to do anything. I didn't.
Tell us about how the kids were hiding.
When all the arguing was starting, it was Dalton and Dylan said, Adela was scared. And she said, I don't want to leave. I want to stay with you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what happened there? And just keep this going. Okay. So anyway, so there's a little snafu apparently in that. So Sarah, I saw you back there. If you want to come on back up, you are welcome to come up. I was just waiting till that little bit where Cindy Watts was speaking, so I could bring you up after that. Okay. So if you do want to come up, there is a link to panel right there, and y'all are welcome to come up. I would love for you to come up and hear what it is you have to say. Let's see. So, Where are we going here now? Okay, now let me just get back down to, okay, so let's take a look at the timeline, all right? So, oh, there's Sarah. So let me bring Sarah up, and then we can take a look at the timeline of the events that were, right around Nutgate according to the official Discovery timeline. So Sarah, you look beautiful. You're on camera. Just want to let you know so you feel all nice and ready to come up. I'll turn my camera on too, okay?
Hi.
So everybody, welcome. Sarah, how are you doing, Sarah?
Hi. I'm good.
Hey, good. I'm so glad you
Happy
came
to be
up.
here.
Awesome. I'm happy you're here. What's on your mind?
I've just been following this ever since they put it back on Netflix. I saw it when it first came out in 2000, when the tragedy first happened, but coming back for the 5-year anniversary, brings back all these emotions, and I'm obsessed again. So,
I know. Well,
oh,
what do
it's
you
horrible.
think? What do you think about Nutgate in particular?
Well, I think that I think Cindy's not saying everything that she always minimizes the problem, and because she didn't like Shanann, everyone knows she didn't like Shanann, and I think she's just purposely minimizing it. I think she did have ice cream there with nuts in it, because didn't Chris say that too? That he even agreed with it. That
I don't know. Well, listen, we're going to listen to what Chris has to say about it in just a minute. So when the 3 investigators go to Dodge Correctional Facility after he's serving his time, he actually talks to them about it. So we'll listen. It sounds like at that time, at least, and maybe it's in retrospect, he kind of sides with his mother on that. But I think he was confused because he wasn't there. He even says, Shanann had her story. My mom had her story. What do you do? You know what I
he
mean?
never knew what side to take. Anyways, he was just always
Wishy-washy.
undecided. Yep, exactly.
Totally. I totally agree with that. Well, here, let's take a look at I want to take a look at the timeline of what was going on around the time of Nutgate when we take a look at the discovery. So stay on up here with me. I would love to hear what you have to say about this.
Okay, I will.
And if anyone else wants to come up, the link is there. And as soon as I see you, I will bring you up. Okay. So, well, one thing we know is that, so Shanann goes across the country. So Shanann and Chris have their little Thrive getaway in San Diego, and that is from June 22nd to June 26th. So then that very night, Shanann touches down in Denver, and with her dad, who is there watching the girls, they take the girls, her and her dad and the girls all go back to North Carolina to visit the families. So at that point, what does Chris do? Immediately, that's his first night that he spends with Nicole Kessinger. What a dirtbag. I mean, seriously, though. So let's see. It's like, seriously. And I don't even know if this is on the official timeline here. It might not be. But they talk about it in the interviews. And I don't think it's listed here on the timeline, but they talk about it in the interviews. And we could play that if anybody really does want to hear it. I played it several times, but so now, let's see, on June 30th. So remember, Nutgate was on July 8th. So now we're a little over a week before Nutgate. It says, watch, search the internet for information on tickets to Bandimere Speedway. And we know that he went there with Kessinger. Yeah. Now, one day that was a really big deal was July 4th. Because on July 4th, July 3rd was Nicole Kessinger's birthday. So Watts spends the night in Nicole Kessinger's house, the 3rd going into the 4th. And as the story is told by both Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger, that morning, Shanann starts crazy calling him at 5:47 a.m. So it's before even 6 o'clock. And she calls him and she calls him and she calls him. And finally he answers. Kessinger is in the shower. This is 7 o'clock or something. And she's like, why haven't you answered? He says she was freaking the F out. So he calls up and he's like, yo, your girlfriend, thanks for letting me do every which way I wanted last night. So now I've got to go home because my wife has been calling. And Nicole Kessinger then shows up at his front door. So you've got to think at that point, Shanann was like, what is going on? So here in the discovery, let me make it a little bigger for y'all so you can read along with me a little bit here.
Oh, yeah. Let's make this bigger.
Yeah. It says, July 4th, Watts called Shanann and held a 19-minute conversation. Now, remember, that's after she called him a million times in the morning and he didn't answer and she was pissed. It says, Watts watched the Independence Day fireworks with Nick and Amanda Thayer in Thornton. He apparently stopped by their home afterwards, his phone connected to their router. Now, what the discovery doesn't say is during the day, Kessinger showed up at his house, and I'm sure there was a big deal of it, right? So the next day on July 5th, according to the discovery, Shanann called Watts and held a 2.5-minute conversation. Like, what's up with that? Like, you're away from your husband for that long, and so are your kids, and you talk for 2.5 minutes. And then it says Watts called Shanann and held a 13-minute conversation. She called him back moments later, and they held a nearly 7-minute conversation. Now, okay, so then the next day, let's see, they talk about them. Whoops, oh shoot, I lost my place. I hate this. The discovery, like, scroll is so freaking sensitive. Here, let me get back down to the timeline there.
Make my screen better.
Okay, there we go. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so now it says, let's see here. So on July 6th, it says at 9:57, Shanann called Watts and held a 3-minute conversation. She called back shortly afterwards and held a nearly 4-minute conversation. And then Watts called Shanann and they held an 11-minute conversation. Shanann called Watts, they held a 3-minute conversation. Then they had an 8-minute conversation. After Shanann told Watts to call Vivint, before I flip, in all capital letters, Watts advised, they are sending a sensor for the garage door. I tried moving it like they said, and it didn't work. He's always just so blah, right? And then now we're getting right up to the day of Nutgate, which again was July 8th. So on July 7th, we have Kessinger called Watts, and this is at midnight and 9 minutes, and they held a 2-minute conversation. And it says this was the first call between Kessinger and Watts found on his phone. Now, that was the day before Nutgate. So is it possible that Shanann was looking at the phone records and she saw that he's talking to somebody at this weird number? We don't know. At 5 a.m. in the morning, Shanann called Watts. They held a 5-minute conversation. She's like, wake up, baby. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Let's go. Right? If someone called me at 5 in the morning, I'd be like, go away.
She was pissed at that point.
Right. And then as if that wasn't enough, I guess he wasn't making his eggs and bakey because she called him back 49 minutes later at 5:49 a.m. Shanann called Watts and they held a 13-minute conversation. And then it says at 19, so this would be 7 p.m., Watts' phone connected with a router at Rusty Bucket Restaurant. So this is when Chris and his little skanky empanada were out watching a movie. And then it talks more about how he was connecting to that router. So now we've got to July 8th. And it says at 5:15 a.m., which was the morning of Nutgate, early in the morning. And then I'll let you talk, Sarah. I just want to get through this timeline through this day, okay?
Sure.
It says, Watts offered an excuse for not calling Shanann the night before. I'm sorry, boo. I fell asleep as soon as I got home. The heat killed me yesterday. I love you so much. Now, this is the morning of Nutgate. And the interesting thing about this, guys, is that, I'm just going to make this bigger really quick so you can see this, is that this is the only time when Shanann was in North Carolina that Chris Watts called Shanann first in the morning, and that B, he sent along any message to her that was sweet, like, I love you, boo, like, I'm sorry. Like, he never had done that before. So then it says at 5:15, wakey, wakey, Watts called Shanann, and then he called her right away. Like, what? And they held a 6-minute conversation. And then later that afternoon, Shanann called Watts. They held a 22-minute conversation. And then early in the morning, the day after Nutgate, she calls him at 5:18, like always, and they held a 10-minute conversation. And then they held a 14-minute conversation. And then Watts made an unanswered call to Shanann. She called back immediately, and they had nearly a 9-minute conversation. Now, Shanann discussed, now it says, now this is the day after Nutgate once again. So we are at 8 p.m., 8:16 p.m. Shanann discussed how Watt's mother gave Celeste ice cream with nuts in the ingredients. Shanann felt this was done in defiance of Shanann's warning of Celeste's food allergies. Shanann told
That's
Watts,
fine.
you should call your dad and tell him you don't appreciate your mom putting your daughter at risk today, nor do you like that she teased our girls. You should also say you don't appreciate her saying they have to learn they can't always get what they want. They are 2 and 4. So then it says Watts would reply, I will call him and tell him what I think about this. It's not fucking cool at all because it's the kids.
It's the
I will
kid.
set this straight. Right. So now, well, we're going to go into a whole bunch of posts that Shanann is going to be putting on Facebook and things like that. So, craziness. What do you think about all that?
I know practically every text by heart, like back and forth, because I've watched it so much.
I
I
know.
think a few things. Like, first of all, I think it's weird how Chris was like leading her on the whole time. Like, I know he was trying to save face and like not. He didn't want her to know that he was cheating on her, so he was like. He was going back and forth, like shutting her out, but then trying to be cutesy and sending her texts here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Shanann had a feeling. Her woman's intuition was going off big time, and she definitely knew something was going on. I know that for sure.
I think
And
so.
but another factor, I think there was that. But between her and Cindy, they're both like alpha females for Chris, who needs to be led. And Cindy was the first, she was the mother, and then now they're in competition. So they're always going to be at each other. So that's just a thing in its own.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a separate, they have their own thing, their own beef and their own. But with Chris and Shanann, it's just so messed up. I don't know. The whole Nutgate thing, I don't know, but she definitely knew something was going on. And then when the straw broke the camel's back, when she saw that bill, and she knew that he definitely spent more than for one person, and she came back knowing. I don't need and the whole thing where he said that, I'm jumping way out of Nutgate, but where he said that he jumped on top of her to have a conversation with her. I think he strangled her in her sleep. I think he definitely
did too. I think he did too, because like her father says, and like so many other people say, and you can tell she was a strong woman, and even above and beyond being physically strong, she was like strong-willed. She was feisty. You know what I mean?
That's
right. So I think you're totally right about that. Now let me just bring you to the stream. I just want to play a little video that goes over some of the posts that Shanann put on Facebook after this all happened. So here, let me bring this up here. Hopefully it'll be right too as well.
I arrived, and on the floor shelf,
let me go back just a little bit more where it starts.
It appeared after this Nutgate incident occurred on July 8th.
Go back to the beginning of. Okay, here we go. All right. Give it a second. Give it a second. See. There we go.
And just keep this going. I just don't know what's going on. I haven't had these problems recently.
Always having problems with StreamYard back then, having problems with StreamYard. So I love you, StreamYard.
Appeared after this Nutgate incident occurred.
So
this post is from July 9th, the following day, from Shanann Watts. It says, I need to vent to people who understand. My 2.5, I think.
Oh, and Sarah, you're still there. I just made this bigger so it doesn't have the double background, but you're still there. Just hold on, okay?
Okay, cool.
18-year-old is severely anaphylactic to most all tree nuts, and we are visiting in-laws. I specifically said we can't have them in the house when we stay. My mother-in-law stated we don't buy them. I specifically mentioned the ones she is deathly anaphylactic to as well. I arrived, and on the floor shelf of the center island was a bag of pistachios, in parentheses, big bad one. I removed immediately. Today, she lets her other granddaughter eat an ice cream that has all tree nuts in front of and next to my 2.5-year-old child that can have them. I said I didn't appreciate it and removed my daughter. Her response was she has to learn that she can't always get what she wants. I'm beyond furious, and she's telling me I'm overreacting when my child's life is at risk. From July 15th, 2018, from Shanann Watts on Facebook. Hashtag allergy awareness. I have been on such high alert this summer since we are traveling. Everything in our home is completely safe for Celeste, so I don't worry as much unless I go out to eat, which isn't often anyway. Some understand and some think I'm being paranoid. I have to hear my kid cry after taking a treat out of her hand because someone gave it to her and I can't read the ingredients. She is just turning 3 and don't understand exactly why she can't have what others are having. Parentheses, she is never around people in Colorado that are eating something she can't, so she doesn't feel left out. In parentheses, she thinks she is in trouble when I say no to something she can't have on this trip, and I feel terrible for it. I'm so grateful for all of our friends, especially in Colorado, who consider my daughter's safety when we are around or they come over for play dates. I'm grateful for everyone who thinks and respects my daughter's safety while we visit North Carolina. Trust me, it's hard enough to have to read and reread everything. And I think that's in reference, of course, to the ingredients of foods and treats that her kids may or may not have. So here are Shanann's responses to some of her friends that asked, like, what's going on to that post. So Shanann says, yeah, she's young, only 60. She completely understands. My husband called her after he got off of work and told her he didn't appreciate how she handled the situation and teasing my 2-year-old with the ice cream and putting her at risk to exposure. She also has eat something, I don't know what, and asthma. Her response to my husband was, quote, this is a learning experience to my 2-year-old to realize she can't always get what she wants. F you. And then in the next one, Shanann says, I would be furious. While I get that she's family, like you said, she understands. My grandmother understands when I remind her at 86, but it's hard to get them to change their ways, especially since I didn't grow up with it. Your kid, and then it just trails off. So then Shanann says, thank you. She is learning and she's way too young to comprehend how serious it is because she's little. My mother-in-law and I've sent articles, notes from doctors, information on anaphylaxis and how severe it is. She understands. She knows. I don't like my family eating it in front of her without her having an alternative option. I'm done. And her response to her son set him over the top. Now, please understand, I am in no way blaming Shanann for what happened to her or to Bella or to Celeste or to her unborn child. That was a pure act of evil. It was not her fault. And please understand, I am not blaming her. The question still does exist. Did this event, Nutgate, and everything that branched out from it that Chris Watts experienced, as Shanann just said, about Cindy's reaction that it put her son over the edge, did this Nutgate event, and I'm not placing blame, these are just the facts of what happened. This is the evidence that we have to look at. Did this event put Chris over the edge? And yes, his actions are still his own responsibility. They were his choices. He should be held accountable. He's in prison. I think that's exactly where he should be. Don't get things confused here. These are still important questions that need to be asked. Okay. So was that the end of it? I think that was the end of it. Yes, it was. Okay, so a couple things.
Okay, so that missed me talking before. All right. So there's that there. Okay, whoops. Oh, Sarah dropped off. Okay. So we have all of that went on. And as you all know, Nutgate caused a really big deal in the life of the Watts. So, you know, I had done a lot of research on Nutgate, trying to figure out what exactly happened. Was Cece really allergic to tree nuts? And, you know, I put out a video a while ago talking about, it was 8 months ago, talking about the research that I had done and what I found out. So I'm just going to play this video for you. And I'd really love to hear what y'all think. And sorry you dropped off, Sarah. You're welcome to come back up.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick video and give you some information that I promised you regarding the Watts family. And specifically, the question was, Cece Watts allergic to tree nuts, as Shanann told everybody she was? This video is a follow-up to a video I previously uploaded asking the question, is Cece allergic to tree nuts? There will be a link to that video at the end of this video, but the long and the short of the video was that it was hard for me to say that she was actually allergic to tree nuts based on the videos that we saw of Celeste Watts eating different varieties of Pro Bars and then doing research on the Lavelle Pro Bars and finding out that several of the varieties of Pro Bars had a label on them at the time these videos were recorded of Cece eating them that said they may contain tree nuts. During a live stream about this topic, the idea that there are pictures out there of both Cece's back and Bella Marie's back when they were at the doctor undergoing some allergy testing came up. At the time, I wasn't able to pull up both of the pictures. I wasn't on the computer that had those files, but I do have them for you along with the comments that Shanann made in the Facebook post. So let's take a look at those. Okay, so we see here, poor sweet Bella's back with the inflamed allergy scratch marks on it. And let me just read you what Shanann said along with this picture. She says, oh my God, I hate it every time. She's definitely allergic to tree nuts. And then she says, this is 5 minutes later, not even a whole 15 minutes. So I find this to be very interesting because not once, never did we hear Shanann talking about Bella's allergy to tree nuts. It was always Cece's allergy to tree nuts. Always, always, always. In fact, that is what Nutgate was all about. So now we see here a picture of Cece's back with the marks on her back. And it looks like, I don't know if it's more or less inflamed areas, but Shanann says, holy allergies, add allergic to dog, cat, and mold. So on Cece's picture, she doesn't say anything about tree nuts, but she just says add allergic to dog, cat, and mold. Now, could add mean that she's already driven home the idea that Celeste is allergic to tree nuts? You know, I don't know. Maybe it does or maybe it doesn't. But again, the thing that stands out here when we compare these two pictures is Shanann pointing out definitively that Bella is allergic to tree nuts and us never hearing anything, no one ever hearing anything about Bella's allergy to tree nuts, only Cece's. Now we have a couple more issues. Let's take a look here at this video of Cece eating Fruity Pebbles cereal, the breakfast of champions. It was known that she loved Fruit Loops cereal and Fruity Pebbles. Those two were her favorite cereals.
There's a boo-boo. Cece, are you hungry? Celeste. Hey, are you hungry?
Yeah.
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 Cereal.
I like it.
We'll wipe it.
So, my friends, the problem is, of course, not that Cece's favorite cereals were very high in sugar, Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops. I mean, I know myself, my son, when he was little and still to this day, likes sugary cereals, and I indulge in them myself as well. The problem is this. If you are to look at the nutrition label on Fruity Pebbles, you will find that it has tree nuts listed as an allergen. It has for as long as allergy alerts were required to be announced on nutrition labels. See, right here. So this is a label information from the manufacturer's website, just to make it a little bit bigger so you can clearly see that there's a label that says allergen tree nuts.
Now, in my last video on this topic, I talked about the fact that I had done research on this tree nut allergy a long time ago, and it's information I've been holding on to for a while. I didn't make a video about it for a very long time. So my goal here really is to put the issue to rest. So in case you have any questions left in your mind, I want to point out this. When Shanann and Bella and Cece went to North Carolina, and then also when Chris joined them, they several times got food at one of their favorite places in North Carolina, which is Bojangles, as pictured above. So Bojangles was apparently, as told by Shanann, a place where you could get food and they could guarantee that it was allergen free for certain allergies, like tree nuts, of course. But if you read this passage right here, you will find that, well, let me read you what it says. Some ingredients and nutritional values may not be identified on this website. Test items or limited time offerings may not be included with the information on this website. Not all products are available at all restaurant locations. Some products may contain or may come into contact with allergens, including milk, eggs, wheat, soy, tree nuts, peanuts, fish, shellfish, and no guarantee can be made that no cross-contamination will occur or that our foods are free of any of these allergens. So, guys, the point is, according to Shanann, Celeste had an anaphylactic allergy to tree nuts. An anaphylactic allergy is very serious. I have an anaphylactic allergy to bees and wasps and a lot of things that sting, and I must carry an EpiPen with me at all times. And even when I do administer the EpiPen, if I'm stung, I oftentimes have to go to the emergency room because my throat starts closing even with the EpiPen. Now, remember, the whole event of Nutgate was based on this premise that Celeste had a anaphylactic allergy to tree nuts and that Cindy Watts was putting Celeste's life in jeopardy by allowing her to be near ice cream that may be cross-contaminated with tree nuts. So when you look at the whole picture here, all of the information I put forth in the last video, and then in this video about the Fruity Pebbles and the Bojangles, I don't know, guys. You're smart. Make a decision for yourself. Do you think that Cece had an allergy to tree nuts? Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. We all want to know what you think, and thank you so much for watching. Rest in peace, sweet Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and unborn baby Nico. Okay, so hold it. Let me sort by date. All right. Back to this. Okay, so there we have that. And I'm so sorry I can't pin comments. I don't know. My StreamYard's just not keeping up with me. It stopped way back when. And hey guys, so whoops, we don't want to do that again. So here, I'm going to take this down and I'm just going to bring up that other. It's just a 7-minute pre-recorded video that just gives you some more details on the topic we were just talking about. So you can, really see what you think is going on.
Also her. Don't take her away.
I'm not taking her away.
Whoa! Don't take me.
Hi guys, welcome back to What's the Obsession. So let's talk about Cece Watts' apparent nut allergy. For those of you who have followed the case, much had to do with Cece's nut allergy, including the infamous event, Nutgate, that happened on July 8th of 2017, just about a month before the tragic Watts family murders. And that event in itself, which we're not going to get into in this video, may have been pivotal, critical in the eventual outcome of this family in crisis. What we'll do is to demystify one thing. Were there nuts contained in the Pro bars that Cece Watts was eating on camera. She actually ate these Pro Bars while being video recorded by Shanann several times, and we know exactly what kind of Pro Bars Cece was eating because she told everyone, Shanann told everyone, the package was there, the box was there, the Pro Bars were there. The child eating the Pro Bars were video recorded. So here's a little Watts trivia question for you guys. What was Celeste Watts' favorite flavor of Lavelle's Thrive Pro Bar? Tick, 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 tick. Or maybe ding, 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 ding. She's going to tell you herself.
Lemon meringue. What's your favorite, Cece?
Birthday.
Birthday? Mommy's favorite. What's your favorite? The cookies and cream?
Yes, that's right. Cece Watts liked birthday or birthday cake Pro Bars the best. So let's just take a look at what was going on in those birthday cake Pro Bars. And let's answer the question once and for all. Were there nuts in those Pro Bars?
Snack Mommy has?
Pro Bars.
Pro Bars?
Yeah.
Pro Bars. Do you guys love Pro Bars?
Yeah.
Okay, let me break it up. What kind is this one?
Blue.
Blue? That's right. What kind though?
Apple on this.
What flavor is this one?
Chocolate.
No. Is it birthday cake?
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
It is important to know that Lavelle Thrive changed the formulation for some of the Pro Bar flavors in 2021, including cookies and cream and the lemon Pro Bars. Lavelle Thrive brand did not change the formulation for the birthday cake Pro Bars since they were first introduced. So the formulation and the ingredients have remained the same since Lavelle rolled out that flavor of product in 2018. As you can see here, the birthday cake flavored Pro Bars do contain nuts, and in fact, there is an allergy warning on the box saying that they contain milk, soy, and tree nuts. I know the people that watch this channel are very intelligent. I will let you make your own conclusions. Do you believe that Celeste Watts was really allergic to tree nuts? And if she was not, wow, guys, the implications. Nutgate. And what about this? What about the psychological trauma that Bella went through, obsessing over her sister's allergy to tree nuts or coconuts, or she wasn't sure exactly what. She just knew. She was told if her sister ate this certain food, she wouldn't be with her the next day. She wouldn't be able to play with her anymore, as the babysitter says here in this interview.
So the girls are 3 and 4, but do they talk with you a lot?
Yes, they're very
They're
talkative.
very talkative.
Yes.
Okay. So did they tell you anything that was happening? Was there anything that was concerning that you heard?
Bella she sat by me and she was really concerned. Her little sister fell asleep before her, so she sat on the couch with me for a while, and she actually told me something. She's like, "Can I ask you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "My little sister has, she told me if she eats coconut, she'll never be able to see her again." So I'm guessing that the littlest one has a severe allergy, and that's what they told her, that if she eats that, she'll never be able to see her again. And she was really upset by that.
Bella was?
Yeah.
And so if Cece ate coconut, she would potentially
Yeah,
die.
I know she has a tree nut allergy, but I never heard coconut. So I wonder if they just, I don't know, she got
So
coconut.
Cece has a tree nut allergy.
Yeah, like a severe one.
It is with us. Sissy in bed. It's Sissy.
Okay.
Oh, I'll stay with her. Don't take her away.
I'm not taking her away.
Whoa! Don't take me.
Be nice to Cece.
Okay.
Now tried to escape, but was confronted by another who sought the heart. A demon of earth and fire. Now he was struck from the sky, never to be seen again. His magical fish hook and the heart of the Kiki
Rubbing her back.
to the sea. Yet even now, 1,000 years later, Hekar and the demons of the deep still hunt for the heart, hiding in a darkness that will continue to spread, chasing away our fish, bringing the light from island after island, until every one of us is devoured by the bloodthirsty jaws of inescapable death. One day, the heart will be found by someone who will journey beyond our roof, find Maui, deliver him across the great ocean to restore it
now.
and save us all.
Oh, thank you, Mother. That's enough. No one goes outside them. We are safe here. There is no darkness. There are no monsters.
Okay.
Opening statement.
Oh, we love that judge, don't we? Okay, so we've got all of that there going on. And then I'm just going to bring another. This is one of the home videos that Shanann Watts posted to Facebook on December 11th, 2016.
Don't cover her eyes. You guys finished singing?
Oops, hold it. Wait a minute. Oh no, I was putting in it. Oh yeah, I had it in there. Okay, very good. Okay, so now there is, whoops. Now there is a post that goes along with that video. I was just looking for it. I can't find it in my big vast variety of files, but what it essentially says is, oh my gosh, we had the biggest scare, referring to the night before that video that I just showed you. You know, Celeste ate something or other. She started having this reaction. Bella was so terrified. She was such a good girl. As I was starting to get Cece ready and put her into the car, Bella went and got her boots and got Cece's things. And she got into the car and she even tried to, you know, buckle up herself because she was just so, you know, absolutely scared. So the point is, you know, whether, you know, the conclusion that I've come to, obviously, if you just watch the last couple of videos, is based on everything that we've seen from the videos that Shanann posted herself. And again, we're just trying to get to the bottom of Nutgate because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Well, okay, trying to understand the impact that Nutgate, I should say, had on the entirety of the situation. It's hard for me to say that, yes, Cece did have an allergy to tree nuts because we see her eating so many foods that would either contain warning labels about tree nuts or that we know have some ingredients of tree nuts in them. The Fruit Loops, the Fruity Pebbles, the Bojangles, and the various varieties of the Thrive Pro Bars. So now when the excerpt that you heard played of the Watts family babysitter talking about this great fear that Bella had about, what could happen to her sister if her sister was exposed to, she said, coconuts, is a very good example of how fearful the talk about the tree nuts made Bella. Now, I don't think it's coincidental that Bella talked to that babysitter. This was right after they came home from North Carolina. It was in the few days from, it's so sad to say, when they came home from North Carolina to when the tragedy occurred. According to how Cindy Watts tells the story, if that is true, and we don't know if that is true or not, it certainly could be an exaggerated story. Shanann was ranting and raving saying, oh my gosh, you let Cece eat something that had to do with tree nuts. You tried to kill her. And according to what Cindy Watts says, and again, we don't know if this story is 100% true, but, from that point, Bella is hiding and she's with her cousins and she's saying, oh my gosh, Bella really doesn't want to leave and it's just this big deal. And, from there, I don't know. I guess the whole point is that clearly whatever happened in North Carolina, where there was talk about the tree nuts and Cece's allergy or possible allergy, it had a very deep impact on sweet little baby Bella. And, it is my opinion that Bella kind of got the shit end of the deal in the Watts family all along. I think Bella suffered a whole lot emotionally. I put out a couple videos recently specifically about Bella because I just feel a strong connection to Bella. And I think she has just the sweetest, most beautiful soul. And I feel as though over Bella's short life, you could see a clear change in Bella from being a very joyful, loving, just happy-go-lucky baby, just like you would want your baby to be, to becoming more of a pensive, kind of very worrisome, at times seemingly depressed young little girl. And that is just such an absolute tragedy. So here, I want to just now play you a little excerpt of an interview with Frank Rusek so you can see what he had to say about the allergy situation. Okay, so let's see here. About 3 minutes in. So let me go ahead and bring that into the stream. And again, I'm sorry I can't pin comments. I don't know why. My StreamYard is just stuck. Actually, you know what? Here, just hold on 1 minute. Let me refresh this. I really would like to be able to pin comments. Hold up. And we're back. Awesome. Now I can see the comments. That's so great. Okay, so I'm going to bring in that excerpt of the interview with Frank Rusek, Shanann Rusek's father.
that I know of. So, you know, it's hard. There's different things that was going on. I mean, he did change his. They were going through this new Thrive stuff, or she was selling, and he started getting himself all built up and lost a lot of weight. But he was always a body type person. Always took care of his body and all that. So they did come out. Janet came out for 6 weeks with the girls. They were going back and forth from our house to his house, his mother's house.
Okay.
And the little Celeste had allergies to nuts, tree nuts, very allergic to them, very allergic to them. She had 2 EpiPens she had to carry with her. So she told us all, get rid of anything that's got nuts or any, just get it up high enough. Don't throw it away, just get it out, no problem. My wife cleaned the whole house out. I mean, I had to go looking for stuff. You know, she took underneath every cabinet. So she told Chris's parents the same thing. They did go over her house a couple times, and Chris's mom really never got along with Shannon because she took her son away from him. That's how we took it. They didn't come to her wedding, their you know, engagement party. They didn't come to nothing to theirs. So when Shannon was over, I think it was the second week she was there, the weekend, she had called me up frantically and said, "Get me the hell out of here now." The mother had nuts all over the place, and you know they're all worn. And she was there a week prior and told her to make sure this is this way. So the mother, at that time, Shannon was feeding the girls some hot dogs for lunch and all this, and she had her other 2 nieces and nephews over, and they came out with ice cream with all these nuts in it. And so ended up being, you know, Shannon and her had little words, and Shannon said no, and she called me up and said, "I gotta go. We just had a blowout because, you know, she's got nuts on the table, nuts on the in the cabinet right there, open for this little girl." And she said, "No, I'm done." And so she told Shannon, "Well, that's just a training lesson or something like that to her, you know." I'm like, that's not it's a 3-year-old girl you're talking to. It's not something you're trying to, you know, discipline. You know, birthday present. Hey, you know, your sister's getting a birthday present today. You're not getting one because it's not your birthday. That's some kind of, you know, saying this is what you do, you know?
Right.
So Shannon called Chris and told Chris about it. So Chris said he called his parents that night, and his mother told him the same thing. That's what we heard. I didn't hear it, but that's what Shannon had said. So, of course, Shannon never went back to the house with the children. She stayed at our house. So, there was a few times that Shannon would FaceTime Chris because she would FaceTime every night because of the children. And there was a few times, I mean, a couple of times it did catch me off guard, like, what's going on? Because she was like, "Are you going to pay attention to the children?" Like he was in another, you know, another world out there. And he's like, yeah. And then, you know, like I said, and I started saying, well, what's he doing? You know, is he just not, you know, ignoring them and just not paying attention, watching TV or whatever, you know? When he came out, he was the same way. You know, if you've ever seen anything you've seen with Chris, he's just the same way. He's just, that's how he is. There's no, everything you see in the courtrooms or whatever, he's the same way. That's just how he was.
As far as
his demeanor, he was just more straightforward and didn't, you know,
quiet.
Yeah, he wasn't the really, you know, he would talk to us when we were there. Everything would have a good time, but it just doesn't, you know. We went to the beach. The kids, it was the first time they ever went to the beach, and he was like the same way. I mean, it didn't dawn on me anything, and Shannon never said anything to us about a separation, fights. I mean, I don't know if she wanted to just keep it from us and not, you know, get us involved in it. So we knew nothing about anything that they were doing, separation or any of this stuff, until this all happened. And friends of Shannon said, no, this is what was going on. And they said, you know, they had a suspicion that he may have been cheating on her. because she had come home when he went. She was gone Saturday he was going to a baseball game. And it was, I caught that kind of odd because he never leaves the kids with somebody else if Shannon's not there. He's usually always home. Okay, they made it ready to go to a baseball game, but she came home and she checked her finances on the phone and found out he spent $60-something for dinner. And he says, yeah, I went out and had salmon and a couple of beers. So, I mean, unless you went to a real expensive restaurant, $60 for a couple of beers, and that may have caused a little bit of, with her, like I said, if she knew anything that was thought something, that really threw her off, saying $60 for salmon and that.
So he told her that, or she called him?
No,
on the
she.
phone,
I don't know if she was home at the time or if she called him up. But I mean, it just didn't sound right to her.
Okay.
And
how do you know that conversation? Did she tell you this?
No, somebody else told her.
Somebody else.
Her girlfriend. I think she told Nikki, the one that was there, and then she told us. And I mean, like I said, that some of the stuff is kind of not all my words. So
Right, and I just need to make sure I understand which is.
I mean,
coming from
I didn't hear that personally from anybody.
Okay.
I talked. I believe we talked to him and the kids that Sunday night for FaceTime. I believe Bella was eating cold pizza and some kind of a Jolly Rancher taffy or something like that it was. And that was the last time
Okay, so you heard from Frank Rusek what he had to say about the potential of the girls, one or both of them, having allergies. Now, I actually just found that post that accompanied December 11th, 2016 video that I had just showed you. And I'm putting the link to panel again one more time in here if anyone wants to come up. And if you don't, that's okay, but you're welcome to if you'd like. So there you go. So again, that was here. I'm going to play this video once again, and then I'm going to play you the post that went along with it. So just notice, you see how super sweet Bella is being with her sister here,
Don't cover her eyes. You guys finish singing?
Okay. Well, okay. Okay, so now here is the post that went along with it. Oh, and hey, Michael, I see you back there. I'll be bringing you up in just a moment, okay? Oh, maybe not. He jumped down. Come on back up, Michael. All right. Okay. So, well, here, we can watch a little bit of the end of this video, I guess. Well, there it is right there. So maybe, oh, God. Well, let's just go back to the beginning of 2016 here. So this is a video I made. It was Bella and Cece Watts in Sickness and in Health. Shanann Watts' Facebook post 2015 and 16 regarding the kids' health. Let's see. Let's go back to just the beginning of 2016. Okay, so there's September. Geesh, a lot. What year is that? September still? Dang. September. Okay, there's January, so we should be just about the beginning. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. Is there no volume to this? Maybe there's others.
And I can message them about getting a trial. I have 2 more promos left for customers or promoters, so definitely, message your friends, connect them with me. Cassie, oh my goodness, you need to come here. I have plenty of room, so come stay with us. And you can see some snow. Hi, Danielle. Hey, everybody. So Bella and I are going to run a Target. I have a couple things I need to get, and then we're going to take her to the doctor and then pick up our groceries at the Click List at King Supers because Mommy went shopping online today, and it's so much easier than going through the store with 2 kiddos. Cassie, for sure, come on over. Hey, Danielle. Bella, can I have that back? Come here for a second. She's hiding.
And there she's asking, she says, Bella, can I have that back? And she's asking for the thermometer back. And Bella says, no.
Thermometer. Will you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Say, how are you?
How are you?
You tell them you're not feeling well?
I'm not feeling well.
What's wrong?
I have a tummy ache.
Oh, you have a tummy ache now? What else?
My eyes hurt.
Your eyes hurt? And what else?
I'm dizzy.
You're dizzy. Well, you're awfully happy to be dizzy. Donna said, did you have a good birthday?
I have a good birthday.
No, did you have one? Did you have a good birthday? Did you get everything you wanted?
I had a good birthday.
She did have a great birthday. What are you doing? Can we wipe your nose real quick? And Cece's been wild today. She was drinking toilet water, or almost drinking toilet water. She was eating food out of the event in the kitchen, using her play drill to drill her mouth. Hey, Christy. She's just one wild child. And one reason why I'm grateful that I thrive, because I have patience to deal with, toddlers in the toddler years. So it's been an eventful morning. Cece just went down. She wanted to fight it, but she was exhausted. She's a little under the weather, so it was good to get her back into school. Tomorrow she goes back to school. So I'm excited for the little break of chasing a kid around from the toilet and everything else. So
I just want to say, hey, Suspicious, I see you back there. As soon as this little video is done over, I'll bring you right up. And thanks for coming up.
Shirt off.
what do you want me to do?
Take your shirt off.
Why don't I take my shirt off? There you go. Are you pressing on my belly, making sure it's okay?
Yeah.
Wait, you gonna check my neck?
Open mouth.
Open my mouth? You gonna check my ears?
Ears.
Oh, well, you can't get the tool. You can pretend.
Pretend.
Yep, go ahead, mommy's ears.
Ear.
Oh, that's your finger in my ear.
Sorry. It hurt.
It doesn't hurt, no ma'am. Can I get this off my finger now?
Yeah. You done?
I'm all done, thank you.
It's okay. Band-aid.
I need a Band-Aid?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're all done, Mommy.
I'm all done, thank you. So being able to, sorry, you guys are getting ready with me right now because I have to take Cece to the doctor. But being able to help somebody, hi Amanda, help somebody start their own business and help them help others live the life that they deserve is truly
And say you and your spouse
amazing.
wanna
I
get started on the Thrive
absolutely,
experience,
truly love
I can
helping
help
people.
you. I can help you get it for free. So shoot me a message. I'd love to help you. Anyone who's ready to start, if money's been the issue, money's been the reason why you haven't started, message me. It was the reason I didn't start for 14 months. I was, one, skeptical. Two, money's always an issue. If I have to spend $5 more out of my pocket for me and it wasn't going towards my children or my husband, I didn't do it. So, you know, thriving has been a blessing for us. We've been thriving now for 21 months. 20 of those for free. Customers and promoters can all thrive for free, which is incredible. Like, who doesn't want free product? So I do have free product for you. So message me if you're ready to start your Thrive experience. You want to get started. You want to sample. If you just want to sample it, I got you. If you want to experience it, shoot me a message below, and I'll send you a mini trial to experience. It is something you want to experience. 10 days on Thrive, your life will change. I promise you. My life changed. So go to Chris's. So definitely shoot me a message. Comment below, post your best GIF, whatever it's called, and I'll hook you up. So if you're Chris's friends as well, watching, definitely post below, and I'll message you and definitely get you a trial to experience as well. So thanks everybody for hopping on. I know it's kind of chaotic. Sure, snow. I might even start decorating for Christmas right now because that's what I feel like doing. Turning on Christmas music. Bella's in a Christmas play or musical or something this year on December 1st, and I'm so excited. She's been singing 2 Christmas songs. One I know is Holly Jolly Christmas, so we hear it every single morning, every single day she sings it, and I love watching her and Cece sing and dance and have fun. So all right, everybody, thanks for hopping on. Sorry.
Really quick, what I'm doing is, since I can't pin the comments, I'm copying and pasting them and putting them in my, so I'll say Watch the Obsession, but you'll see who really said them, just so you can see, everyone can see what you're all saying.
Lighting's horrible. I have to turn the lights on. So you guys all have a great day. Love ya. Bye.
Oh, wait. Okay, so we got to that. Oh, I'm going to bring Suspicious up, but we went right past, I guess, that post. Did we?
Want free product.
Yeah, okay, right there. So I'm going to bring Suspicious up on panel. So, hey, sis girl, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Polly girl, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm such a bummer. I can't pin comments, but that's all right. We're good.
I know, that's okay.
So let me just read this post here that Shanann had posted that went along with that video of where Bella and Cece are sitting on the couch and Bella's singing that song along with the movie, and she's being very, very sweet to Cece. So it says, Shanann Watts is feeling gross at Children's Hospital Colorado North Campus, Broomfield, with Frank R. So it's December 10th, 2016. Safe to say, Celeste has a severe allergy to cashews. She had 2 small tick-sized cashews and had an anaphylaxis reaction. And hi, anaphylaxis, by the way. Vomited all over me. Gave her a bath.
Hey, Anna.
As I thought, this makes us think of you, Anna, dear. Just kidding, honey. I love anaphylaxis. I don't know what I do without her.
Too. She's the best.
She is. As I thought she was getting stomach virus. Then I saw hives all over her mouth and cheeks. Rushed her to Children's after talking to Sarah, who is awesome, where she vomited again all over me 3 more times. Wah, wah, wah. Extremely scary because of the way she is acting. Chris came from work, which I'm grateful for, then gave her an EpiPen, Zofran, Prednisone. Oh, okay. And also, this is another post from that day, but they're also, aside from Bella sticking those gas things up her baby's butts, is shown right here. little exposed to medical, maybe. There was another post from that day. I guess it wasn't the same one. Where she's talking about how sweet Bella was being. Let's see. I guess it's not there. Yeah. I guess I don't have it there. I don't know. It's somewhere in my files there. But, then we see, this is Bella's back showing these allergies, here. And this is where there is the accompanying commentary to the post saying, oh gosh, allergic to tree nuts. So I always wonder why that was never mentioned again. What do you think, sis?
I think my opinion on a lot of this is probably what we would call today as like a hot take. But I think that we are judging what we're seeing today based on what we know today and what we
Sure.
saw 5 years ago or 6 years ago when all of
Mm-hmm.
this happened, right? And I think
Sure.
that in our 5 years ago brains, right, we're looking at this, we're like, why is she sharing so much? Why is she doing this? And it was just so shocking to see some of the things that she shared. And
Yes.
in the post that we're going back to, it was even a year ago sometimes from the point that we saw it after this case and the M's happened and all of that, right? And it was very
Mm-hmm.
shocking. But in looking at it then, I think we've carried along our opinion of it
Mm-hmm.
then. But a lot of it to
Mm-hmm.
me is what we would consider today like a standard family blogger, a family vlogger.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that that's right, but I think that the culture has shifted. I think that Shanann was a little bit before her time in a lot of this
Okay.
because, and I'm not agreeing with it. I can't stand family bloggers. I'm not saying that that's right, but I am saying
Sure.
that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, what was a little bit more shocking to see is a little bit more widely shared now in that culture and in that community. And I feel like if Shanann was here today, she would be all over TikTok. She'd probably have a massive channel. She'd probably be in that sort of like
Right.
family blogger sphere that we see. And I don't think it would be as shocking to see some of that
Oh, we
stuff as
can't
it
get.
was for
Oops,
us
sorry.
5 years ago. And so, again, I
Sure.
think that some of it was a little bit before her time in that aspect. I know that's probably like a hot take for some people. I don't agree with family vloggers either. I think it's
Sure.
massively oversharing. But
Yeah.
I
Me
also
too.
have kind of a hot take on Nutgate too. Like I never felt that Nutgate was just, looking at it, it was never that linear to me. And I guess maybe I try to put
Mm-hmm.
myself in her positions, like, or her position as a
Mm-hmm.
mother. I think Chris is very simple, and when he brought it up in the prison interview, he's like, oh, Nutgate. Like, I think he was looking at, in very simple terms, like, what is it? What does it do? What came of it? Like all of these things. But I don't think that was necessarily what it was for Shanann. And I've told you this, personally and privately. I think it was a
Yeah.
ruse because I think for her it ran so much deeper. And if you look at the relationship pre and post this incident, I think for Shanann that was sort of her like Joker card, right?
Yes.
I think it was a means for her. I think in her mind, and I try to put myself in that scenario of where she was and where the relationship had been leading up to it, right? And I think for her it was like something tangible. Well, I've got this baby I'm growing. I'm pregnant. Chris clearly doesn't care about me, but I don't feel like he cares about the baby, but he obviously cares about our girls, right? And I think she
Mm-hmm.
tried to use that incident as a way to lure him back into her side. And I think it backfired tremendously, but I don't think she had ill intent. And I don't think it was so much of what the incident was that happened. I just think she overplayed her hand. And I don't think,
Yeah.
having known, what we all know now, if she knew, that she would have done it the way that she did. But I don't think that she believed that they were trying to kill her kids. I think she dramatized it. I think that she overplayed it,
Mm-hmm.
trying trying to get Chris back on her team. And I think if her antics and her in and of herself wasn't doing it, I think she thought that something happening to the girls would be, the trick. And it's
Yeah, it would be
unfortunate.
like the money card. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the money card, and I think it just backfired tremendously. But I don't think she had ill intent. But as far as like Nutgate and like the tree nut allergy, it's been like so heavily debated. But from a mom's perspective too, and the one allergy that's just so like kind of helter
Scary.
skelter is tree nuts, because you can be allergic to one, not others. You can like 3 out of 5. You can have like different percentages. And I only know this because I just kind of went through it with my kid. And so I think
Does
people
your
are very.
daughter have a tree nut allergy?
No, she doesn't. But I went through like all the allergy tests at
Mm-hmm.
3, and just like food she hadn't had and things like that. And so I can see as a mother, like maybe she was just allergic to cashews, or maybe she was just allergic to pistachios. I don't know, but I can see going to in-laws or friend's house, just generalizing it, because most things don't always identify what nut is in it, but you will see like contains tree nuts, contains peanuts, manufactured in a place that has peanuts. And so they'll have those generalizations on the label. And I can see a mom at another person's home, you don't have control over what's there. I can say like, oh, she's allergic to tree nuts. Whether what is actually in it or not, she was allergic to specifically, unless you read through the label word for word, you may not know, or you may not expect anyone else to be that thorough as you would in your own home. But if there's something that says, oh, contains tree nuts, but in those ingredients, like she's not allergic to any of those specific things, maybe she can have that. But then at someone else's house, just generalizing it, saying like she's allergic to tree nuts. So if you read the label, most labels just generalize it that way. And I'm not making excuses, because I for sure think she's just a little bit extra about it all. But I can see not trying to burden everyone around you with making them read every individual ingredient for the one thing that she might be allergic to, and just saying generally tree nuts, and then it just blanket done and gone. So I think the Nutgate thing just went a little bit overboard, again. But I think that Shanann contributed to that. I think Chris contributed to that. And then we're all in hindsight looking for, sort of a a nut, I guess. Like we're looking for the one nut that, gives us that little piece of information. But I don't know that it exists for us to find. I just think that she said it as a generalization. And again, I don't agree with this, but what is a family vlogger, right? You take things that are happening with you, your family, your husband, your children, and you create content out of it.
Right.
And in the infancy of like the family vlogger culture is what I sort of consider Shanann. And I think that in our 2018 brains, we just weren't really able to sort of like comprehend the purpose. But retrospectively, I don't think she was doing anything outside of like what we're seeing today. And I think that she was trying to make content and make a presence for herself out of whatever she had around her, which was her house, her children, and her marriage. And that's all she had.
So, yeah, no, I get totally. So I just want to read a couple comments here. So J Lord said that's exactly why she picked that allergy. And I think J Lord said that at a time where you're talking about, well, the tree nut allergy. Oh, by the way, nice profile, sis. I love that. You look beautiful. The tree nut allergy, is so very severe. And then let's see, Charlene Marino said, I don't believe there's anyone here who thinks that SW deserved what happened to her. Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with having a grown adult discussion to recognize Shanann's style of parenting. So along the lines of what you were saying, I think I get what you were saying. And, I definitely agree that she blew it out of proportion, and absolutely positively not. And on this channel, like the goal for me is justice for the victims, peace for the families, and always staying in line with the facts and telling the truth. Now, the only problem I have with what you were just saying is that when we do see those pictures of the girls' backs, what we see is that it's Bella's back where it says, oh, tree nut allergy. And then it's Celeste's back where it says grass, dogs, cats, or whatever. Now, because the tree nut allergies are so severe, as many people are posting here in chat, I think it is a real danger to give your child something that could possibly have been exposed to those tree nuts or have those tree nuts in it. I mean, I'm just going to be really honest. If you people haven't gotten the idea, I do not believe that Celeste had a tree nut allergy, and kind of, I think along the lines of what J Lord was saying. And I think it's okay. The whole point is for people to talk about, and it's okay to disagree and all of that stuff. I think along the lines of what J Lord was saying is that is exactly why Shanann picked that particular allergy, because it is so serious and because it would, of course, garner a lot of attention. Now, I just put out a video this evening about, Shanann's involvement with the MLM, Thrive, and then the successive bankruptcy that the Watts experienced or would have experienced. I mean, I guess they really didn't, because unfortunately her life was ended far too soon. And Chris is in prison. I'll post that. I'm going to post that link for you here in chat. Go ahead.
It's so unfortunate. I think that she took, and I don't want, I feel like to say anything in a negative way. It's I don't want to speak ill of her. I'm not judging her, and I don't think anything that she did caused what happened, and that's a blanket statement in everything. But I think that she tried to create content to drum engagement for the sake of sales. And the only reason I say that is because what else is the purpose in putting it online, right?
Exactly.
If you weren't putting it online, there'd be no purpose in... If you weren't trying to gain something from it in an online presence or way, there's no purpose to put it there.
Unless you're trying to get attention from your husband and family and stuff. But I understand why she did, because her husband was a dirtbag.
Yeah. And I'm not faulting her for that. I'm just saying, in a general way, I don't see any other purpose besides attention. But all the online attention was a direct derivative of her job and what she was trying to do, and this established presence that she wanted to make online in an effort to then sell things. And so that's again why I think she was taking these instances, however small or minor, and inflating them online to create content.
Yes, all in the name of selling that damn MLM, which is why y'all have to watch the video I just uploaded, because it explains it all. And I've said this a million times on this channel across the past 2.5 years I've been doing this, where I trace it back to the pressure of the MLMs, and people are like, oh, you're just trying to sugarcoat it, but you're really trying to say something else. No, what I'm really trying to say is the MLMs are predatory towards a certain demographic of person that Shanann Watts fit the bill precisely. And I told y'all, I have watched the video I just put up. I talk about my own experience in the MLMs. I've been part of it myself, and they train you to use your own life to sell the product, and it's all a bunch of bullshit.
They do, Kelly,
in my
but
opinion.
here's the other thing, and through the looking glass in 2018, what we all thought of doing things like that isn't what we see today. And how common is it? It's maybe you're not that interesting or whatever on your own independently, but you've got a couple of cute kids, so it's you push that as the narrative to get engagement. And I'm not judging or shaming her for that. I just think she was a little bit before her time in that aspect, because we see it so commonly every day, and we just look past
a little
it
bit before her time, where she learned to be that manipulative before the rest of the ML world caught up with being that manipulative.
But here we are still judging her today, but we see it so commonly and we just look past it. I mean, think about it, the LeBrand, I'm not trying to drag all these other people into it, but there's all these super huge family bloggers that have really come up in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And it's so common. There's commentary channels dedicated to dragging family bloggers, but Shanann, it's we're still looking at her oh, what was she doing? And I think we still have that opinion of what we had when we first saw it in 2018, and it's just so much more common today. So I'm not judging her for that. I just think that she was before her time, and I think that it's unfortunate in how things happened, because I don't know that if this crime happened today, if our opinions would still be what they were when we first saw it five years ago, you know, and looking at content from 6 years ago. I don't know that we would
No,
have the same
absolutely.
opinions.
But wait, you know, like you keep saying, like we're looking at her and we're judging her, but like that's kind of, for me, like it truly is a whole point of talking about it, because this is kind of like can be a breakthrough here, because ever since I've had this channel, it's been this dichotomy of either you're a shiner, or you're anti, or you're pro. But I don't think it has to be either. It's just looking at this family dynamic, how it went down, and how people can I truly believe that a shiner is somebody who is so super Shanann lake rat that they just anything you say that's not super pro Shanann, they're just going to attack your shit all over the place. I've had it happening for a long time.
I don't agree with that. I think
what do you think it is?
I think the conversation can be open, and when I say judging her, I think it's more maybe assessment is a fair word to use, because I think that it's completely okay to look at behavior and look at what happened and what contributed from her part in the relationship. And I think all those assessments are fair. And so I guess when I say that, like, judging her, you know, all we have is what we see, what's in front of us. And that's the case no matter what situation that we're in. And regardless of what people say, I'm not judgmental, I'm not judging you. Of course you are. We're judging
that's human
everything
nature.
around us.
Exactly.
We're judging everything all the time, no matter what. And we're looking through it through the looking glass of our own experiences, what we would do, what we take from it, how we would respond or react. That's being a human being. And I don't think, like, to say judging is a negative thing. But
Right.
you're
That's a
right.
good
Like,
point.
when
That's a very
people
good point.
say, like, when people talk about Shanann, it's like you're either pro or against. And I don't think it has to be that way. Like, I think it's completely fair to look at decisions that she made and how she conducted herself online or handled certain situations, and have an opinion of that. And I don't think it needs to go beyond, like, if I have a negative opinion or outlook on how she handled a certain thing, that doesn't mean I believe she's a dirty, rotten person to her core. I just don't agree with how she did XYZ. And I think that's okay. But when someone's deceased, we have this mentality as people to elevate someone to sainthood once they've passed. And I don't agree with that either. You can still look, and I think we should still be able to have an open conversation about a person and how they conducted themselves and handled themselves and made decisions throughout their life objectively, without, again, bastardizing who they were, you know, posthumously. And I don't think that's wrong. I think that two things can be true at once. Like, you can, you know, feel sorry for the way that she lost her life, and you can, you know, do all the things, you know, in memory of them and the way that she lost her life, and also look at how she was in life. And
Okay, here, let me read a
like,
couple
those things
comments
are
here.
parallel. Yeah, whatever.
Let me
You
read a
gotta
couple. No, that was
cut me off.
all very well. No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you have to, because I don't stop.
I love you not stopping, though. Your thoughts are very evolved and deep, and I just love it. But here, let me just read a couple comments. So J Lord just said, and thanks for becoming a member, J Lord. Says, I'm pro Shanann. I'm also mad Shanann don't want anyone thinking they should emulate her and hurt their babies. I agree with that, J Lord. I feel like I'm pro Shanann, but I'm also pro those babies. I'm pro working. For those of you who don't know, I'm a behavioral therapist in my career life, and I am pro working things out so everyone can have the best life that they possibly can. Now, Karen G says, I've watched Shining Light, and what's concerning there is that the creator states her opinion is fact many times. I totally agree with you. And then Tony B says, I have friends who are with Thrive, and I haven't seen them post of their families like Shanann. And I mean, I do have to be honest. I think I understand your point, Suspicious, but I still think even according to today's standards, unless I'm not like hip to what's going on today, and I might not be because I have my head in the sand a lot of the times, I still think that it was a little overboard. Then J Lord says, if we want bad problems that occur in society to stop, we got to get over the hurt feelings issue. Amen. I agree with that, J Lord. These girls were locked in their room from 7 to 7, and I'm not going to say that word because I'm going to get in trouble for it. Okay. And then Green Eye Bandit says, oh, yes, I agree with Kelly right now. It's the family dynamic. It's not one or the other. And I think that's what we're all saying. And then Elizabeth Bridges says, I think that's the last one I copied and pasted, says, Cece, let's see. Chris claimed that Cece was not that allergic or something in that effect. Yeah, he's claimed a lot of things. Unfortunately, I mean, I think sometimes referring to what Chris Watts has said is very valuable. And then I think other times it's just like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right about that though. Yeah. And then let's see, I'm going to do a couple more here. So I'm just copying and pasting and then putting them over here since StreamYard loves me and I love StreamYard. And then let's see, Dana says, in my opinion, SW and CW both needed help. CC and Bella deserve better. I agree. And I'm not saying that those two people couldn't have given them better, especially Shanann, I think could have given them better. But at that point in time when unfortunately the story stopped due to a decision from Chris Watts, who, let me be clear, is exactly where he should be, I would agree with that statement.
I always say though, it's like so easy to look in the 2020 vision of hindsight. And as a mother, I can say that too. Like shit I did last week, it's like I could have done that better. And I'm not defending it because I still think it was like super extra. Like I totally agree with you. Nothing I would ever do. And I'm not defending the behavior.
But both can be true at the same time. And you don't even need to you're defending your ability to kind of state that both could be true at the same time. You've done it a few times, and it's kind of sad that you even need to do that, because why can't you think that it all can be true, or both can be true, or that you can, make a critical assessment of a situation and you observe things that are on two sides of like the so-called dichotomy and both happen to be true. It happens all the time.
And family dynamics are so complex. And I think that's one aspect that just gets so lost in this case, because it's like, you have people looking at it in the way that they would do things, or like ideally what, judging a situation. And it's just like, when you're in it, it's so much more complex than that. Like we can all look back and say what we would have done differently, but it's just like, it's not always that easy when you're living it, and you do the best with what you can and you hope that that's enough. And in this case it wasn't, which is tragic.
Yeah.
But and I agree. Nothing, so many things that she did, I would never cross that line to even entertain doing. However, that's my opinion. And in the decisions that she decided to make, I wasn't there for it. I can't speak on what her reasons might have been. So I just think it's unfair sometimes. And I'm not defending one side or the other. I'm just saying objectively, she's a human being. And there's just
absolutely. And that's what this channel tries to do, is show her for the human being she is, which is why I get so upset when people are saying, oh, you're talking badly about her. No, I'm not. I think to just, make her a martyr is to dehumanize her. She was a human being with multi dimensions who is complex, just like the rest of us. And I don't want to change her history, because at the end of her life, she clearly was proud of her history, and her history deserves to be told the way it was. But I want us all to just go ahead.
No, I was just saying, when I said before, like, when people pass, it's like we have this complex where we feel the need to elevate them to sainthood. And it's like, I don't agree with that either. You can still look at things and, dissect or, research and pick apart and say, hey, I think that this was wrong. I think that this was a contributing factor to this. And I think that that's okay in an open conversation and an open dialogue about the case and all the factors contributing to what happened. I don't think that's wrong. And you're right, it just gets lost sometimes. And this case is just so divisive for people, and I'm sensitive to that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think it's okay to, protect her, human, the element of that she was a human being like we all are, and we all make mistakes, while also, saying, hey, I don't really agree with this. And I think all of that is
Mm-hmm.
okay. And for whatever reason,
Yes,
this case, it's just like it gets lost in
it
translation.
does.
Sucks.
Now, I just want to watch this one video because I was watching this one video recently and I had my super cool, let's see, pink headphones on like I do right now. See? And they're sound canceling, like really good headphones, so you can hear everything. So I just want to let you know what it is I was able to hear when I was watching this video. And I mean, it is a little bit interesting, and hopefully you'll be able to hear and see it too, because, I did really pick it apart because I was like, holy shit. Okay, so here we go. Oops, got to turn it up first, Cal.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. So I'm home with the family, and they're excited to try the new Pro Bars, and they came in, I think, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we have cookies and cream, and we have lemon meringue. Who wants Pro Bars?
Now listen to this response. You can, one of them is going, me, and I think that's Bella. And you can hear in the background, the other one is going, I don't want to. And this to me is just, because of everything Sis Fish has said, and for all these other reasons, the life was very staged. And once again, if nothing else, I think this is one of the dangers of MLM.
All right. So do you guys want lemon meringue first, or do you want cookies and cream?
Cookies.
Cookies?
I want that.
You want the lemon meringue? All right, since I have this one open, let's try this one first, okay?
Cookies and cream.
And Daddy's going to try it too.
Yeah. Are you both?
Yes, so everyone's going to try Chris cookies and cream. All right, Bella gets cookies and cream. Cece gets cookies and cream.
Ready?
Ready?
Set.
You're the taste testers.
Oops, no, go.
Yummy.
Is it yummy? What's it taste like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. What else?
Watermelon.
Watermelon.
Okay, now listen to, like, really watch and listen to Cece. At some point, when she asks Chris what his, reaction is, Cece goes, turn your head. And she takes her hand and she turns his head towards the camera. She's 2.5 here.
What's it taste like?
Now watch this. What's it taste like, Cece? I'm going to try. I pulled some screenshots out of this at some point. I was going to make a video, but I'm just doing it now. So I'm going to slow-mo it. Sorry.
Cece?
A little bit.
Okay.
Chocolate? Uh-huh. Is it delicious?
Oh, wait, that's not the part where
Ready?
she looks like, okay.
Oreo wrapped
Whoops.
with vanilla. It's nice.
Oreo wrapped in vanilla?
She goes, turn around, and she turns his head. Look at that.
Oreo wrapped with vanilla. It's nice.
Oreo wrapped in vanilla?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
And everyone's just very
Yummy, Cece?
aware of, like, the camera. Is it yummy, Cece? Now watch your face. Oh, here, I can't really
Is
do
that
it there,
good,
but
Bella? I think they like cookies and cream. Okay, so let's try the lemon meringue. Hey, everybody. So, a little crazy over here. Cece loves the cookies and cream.
You like it? Nothing. Good thing.
Don't mind me. It's been a long travel day yesterday. Been cleaning, regrouping today. Hey, Jen. Okay, so Chris, this is the lemon meringue. No, that's Daddy's. Here's yours. Wait, don't take. Wait. Here, Bella. Okay, this one's lemon meringue. It's like the pie, but
no,
better.
I just want to
I don't
pause
like the pie.
and whoops.
Ready, set, go.
Wait a minute. So DC Primetime said, and like this is the whole point, and I'm just going to highlight it. And I mean, this is, I think, what everyone's is saying, and this is like really the last time I even want to have to do this on my channel, because we do all definitely and know that this is a point. Thank you for saying so, DC. and for being a member for 6 months. She says Shanann always did her best and was murdered with all of her children. That bothers me. Absolutely, positively. That is the bottom line and will always be the bottom line. Nevertheless, as I've said with this story, and I've heard it in the form of feedback from, I can't even tell you how many people since I've had this channel, because ever since my first video, the goal, well, actually second video, the goal was to look at the family dynamics. There are lessons to be learned here. They're important lessons, and people respond to that.
Ready?
Kelly, I just
Hey,
have
Jessica.
to say.
Oh, go ahead, honey. What's that?
I'm so sorry. I saw one comment in chat while we were watching this video, and I saw someone say to the effect that, oh, but we're not looking at like the, warning signs in Chris. And I don't think that's the conversation tonight, because Shanann was so much like the mommy, like day in, day out caregiver. That's typically the conversation when it comes to the girls. But that is part of the conversation. But relative to the videos that we're watching, I social media is just so fake no matter what, and I think that has to also be part of the conversation. My sister and I call it facade book, because it's like whatever the only the good vignettes in your life is what people showcase, and that's not organic to Shanann only. That is everybody. You don't post the lowest of lows. I mean, unless you're one of those people, but typically you want to showcase like the best parts, and whether that's like putting on that facade that you want to face public, or you're trying to sell something, or show out for your family, your friends, prove how great your life is. That is a key element of social media, and everyone wants to show the best part of their lives public facing. That's the problem, in my opinion, with social media, because it creates this facade of your life, and you are able to cultivate an image that you want to portray, whether it's real or not. And I think that people tend to forget that.
And DC Primetime said she left herself and her family vulnerable, opinion, and I am sorry. And we are all very sorry for that. And I guess part of the lesson here, and I do agree with that, is to not, use social media as this tool to measure the value of your life to the degree where you make yourself and your family vulnerable. So here, that great points, guys. I'm gonna keep playing this. So here.
Okay, I'm gonna mute.
So now she's like asking Cece how it is, and
How does that taste?
And just look at her face.
Cece?
I think she's like scared. Good. I could break it down earlier. I don't want to like painstakingly do it here, but what happens with Bella? She's like, I guess it's good. Now later on, that was a lemon meringue one, and later on, Shanann says, "Oh, Cece, you want lemon meringue?" And Chris is immediately like, she didn't like that one. Clearly everybody, even here, the family is putting on an act. So the Shanann can put on an act on social media, to sell these fucking products? My God.
Yeah? Do you like that one better?
Nope. And she just wants to puke. And Chris looks miserable. Look at her. She's like, I just want to spit it out. And in a minute, Bella asks to spit it out.
I like it.
What's it taste like?
You like lemon meringue pie, straight out the box.
Bella, what's it taste like?
Bella, what's it taste like? Look at her face. She goes, I don't like it.
You don't like that one? Bella doesn't like that one. That's okay. You like the birthday cake, right? And
look at her face.
the cookie.
You like the birthday cake and the whatever. Oh my God. She's just like suffering. Yep. I better say yes. Now she goes, she just started saying it right now. She goes, I don't want to chew it. And you see her bend over and she starts to spit it out towards the dog. And then Shanann's like, does Dieter want some?
Doesn't like that one. That's okay.
Right here, she goes, I don't want to chew it.
You like the birthday cake, right? And the cookies and cream.
Okay, right here. I don't. She just goes, I don't.
Yeah, Dieter, do you want
Now look at.
Want some?
She's bending over. She's like, I'm gonna spit this out for Dieter. And then like look at her looking up at her mom. She's like, oh shit, man, I'm gonna get whooped.
Yeah, Dieter wants some.
And look at Chris in the background there. I mean, you can just see
All
what's
right.
going on here. You know what I
So-
mean?
Oh, which one's your favorite out of all the Pro Bars?
Look at him. Look at
I
that.
just get so mad watching these videos, like watching him. I like with them. It's just so enraging.
I know.
Like,
And look at him. Looking at him. Look at her.
so
It's pure
triggering.
crap. Look at that.
Cindy?
Then he's
So
like,
triggering.
oh, back on stage.
I would say lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue.
I would say lemon meringue. Look at Cece. She's like, oh shit. Look at her. That's not like normal Cece. She's like, oh my God, I'm here for the camera. And look at her. She looks
Look
like
how far away she is from him too. Like,
What's your
if I have my daughter, she's like right to my chest. Look how far
Yeah,
away she is
yeah.
from him. Like,
Favorite.
it's just an awkward. It's an awkward moment.
It is.
Birthday.
She's like, oh, I just know how to make her happy. Birthday is mommy's favorite.
But she's so cute.
Mommy's favorite. What's your
Mhm.
favorite? The cookies and cream. Wow,
We have to keep 3 on stock.
it's a good thing. How do I turn this?
No, she's like, it's a good thing. I think the family's not performing up to par. Now listen to what happens in the background.
It's a good thing that I have all 3 of the favorites in the house. Cinnamon rolls were sold out of it here at the house.
She just goes, I don't like it.
Look how sad Bella is.
You know, this is just an example of how delayed Bella's speech was at this point. When earlier on in her early years, her speech seemed to be developing quite well. And this is something I assess in my profession. But by this time, she is really delayed.
You want dip and ranch? You want ranch dip and chips?
And it's not Shanann's fault, but this is something that can happen as a result of an unhealthy family dynamic.
Jess, I have them all. I just ate all the cinnamon rolls. Cece actually really likes the cinnamon rolls too. Look at that one.
Cookies and cream. We got Cookie Monster.
And she just loved to make her mama happy. And Cece again just goes in the background. I don't like it.
I'm guessing you like it, kiddo.
She's like,
You like
"You
it?
better like
want
it.
the lemon meringue, Cece?
No, she didn't like that one.
See, he has to jump right in. He's like, she doesn't like that one because the first time around she had to pretend she did.
Daddy will finish it.
Yep.
All right, you guys.
Daddy will finish it.
So that's our family.
This is just so sad. She's like, she's unhappy.
Making sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, everybody. So we're a mixed family. Apparently, birthday cake is a winner for me and Cece. Bella loves the cookies and cream, and Chris is lemon meringue, surprisingly, because he's a cookies and cream guy.
Yeah.
So super excited. I love it that it's a healthy snack, and Cece can eat it because she has a tree nut allergy.
And I think, honestly, this is what the tree nut allergies is all about. It's selling Thrive.
And none of our products are made in a facility that handles nuts.
And why is it that all of a sudden Cece has a tree nut allergy instead of Bella? Because Cece has been the chosen poster child for selling Thrive because Cece is so rambunctious. Cece has so much energy. Thank God I thrive.
At all. So
Thank
Cece can have
God
one.
I
There's 0 nuts in them.
Right.
And it's the only like
And I
go-to bar
swear,
nuts at all.
I swear to I swear I know. I swear to God, Cece here goes, I want McDonald's. I want McDonald's. You guys have to tell me if that's what you think you hear. You have to listen to it with good earphones. And then I swear I hear like things unwrapping. I feel like, and this is just me speculating here, I feel like they were bribed to like act like they like these damn things to get McDonald's.
So Cece can have them. There's 0 nuts in them, and it's the only.
I swear, she just goes, I want McDonald's.
Only like go-to bar. Like we can't do processed bars. We can't do anything like that. Because
Daddy McDonald's. I'm telling ya, I'm gonna go back a couple seconds.
that handles
Kelly, did you
nuts
get
at
my
all.
email this
So
week?
Cece can have them. There's 0
I-
nuts in them.
Wait, just one second. I didn't. I was so swamped with work this week. I thought I was going to spontaneously combust. Just one sec.
And it's the only like
I want
go-to bar.
McDonald's.
Like we can't do processed bars. We can't do anything like that because Cece can't have any of it because it's all processed in a plant where there's tree nuts or nuts. So it's really nice that she can have it. It's a quick snack for mommy. It's always in my bag, and I can just give it to her. And I heard you, baby. I heard you. She wants ranch and dip. She's my child. Thanks, Kat. So it's really nice. It's convenient for me as a mom that I can just carry them in my purse and always have something for her. So super excited. The Pro Bars are amazing. They're a great snack, low carbs, low sugar, 2 grams of sugar in all of them, I think. But yeah, 2 grams of sugar and 20 grams of protein. So they're really good for you. So you guys have a great night. Love you. And that we're going to be, Cece and I are fighting over the birthday cake. So, all right. Say bye.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Bye, guys.
Oh, well, that's that for what it's worth. What were you saying, sis? I haven't checked my anything email other than work. I have 3 weeks off now, y'all. Happy to tell ya.
Well, you
but
should
I
check
was
my email.
I was under the water. I definitely will. I will
But
do that as soon as we're done.
you know, I don't know. I have just so many mixed feelings, like watching these videos and stuff. And like poor Bella, she's just,
I
I agree
know.
with you. She's just such a sad little soul, and it's just so hard to watch. But it's just funny. Like, funny is the wrong word, not funny, haha, but ironic, I guess, is probably better.
Ironic, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just ironic, like looking at this in these videos in hindsight, because had what happened not happened, it would just be kind of like some cringy, like mom vlog content type stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think any of us would look past it on our timeline, really.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
sit here like, dissecting the behaviors and stuff. And it's just so easy in hindsight to look at everything and just, I don't know, every little morsel of information or video. It's like you can look back at anything. And I wonder sometimes if I'm trying to find something in nothing, or if I do see something, because again, it's just like, everything in hindsight feels like something, but it's just so sad to watch those videos. And like you watch Cece with Chris, and it's like, I'm noticing things there, but it's just, is it a normal interaction, like father and daughter? Is it a normal night at
No.
home, or am I crazy? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's just,
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. Yeah. I totally agree with what you're saying there. Whoops. Oh, you just got muted. Were you just talking?
No, I muted myself because I
Oh,
thought.
okay. Okay.
No, I was excited to see the rest of your videos on Bella, because that's one thing you and I have like always 100% agreed on. Like she just, I don't know, she just, something about watching her, it just breaks my heart. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about her, but I just have such a soft spot for her too. She's just such a tender little nugget, and it's every time I see her on video, it's just like
nugget. Oh,
I
know.
It's just like
She
it
is.
almost
I
makes
know.
me wanna
I
cry,
love her. I
She's
know.
so-
I love her. I always just felt like I wanted to like give Bella a big hug and take her to Disney World.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's always like,
All
I
the
don't know,
things.
watching her, it's like there's just something about watching her that there's just a hint of sadness behind those eyes that I just can't pinpoint. And
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, even like with, well, I feel the same way. I totally feel the same way. So there is a lot more to talk about with this case. And I'm getting a little bit tired. So we've been on for almost 2.5 hours. My gosh. So I am going to cut it off pretty soon, but, or just, say goodbye for now pretty soon. But thank you so much for coming up, Sis Vicious. I always love hearing from you. And how are you doing? How are you and your girl doing? Is your husband still away?
Oh no, we've split. So so that's one reason I have time tonight. She's gone for like 3 weeks, and so I'm like inside myself, like depressed because I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this time. She's
Oh,
like, she's
honey, I could
gone
hear
so
that.
much.
I could hear that. Okay. I could hear that in your voice. I could hear that in your voice. I'm going to read your email. I'm going to email you in a little bit. I'm
No,
sorry,
no, it's
sweetheart.
fine. It was completely irrelevant to that. It was just like about this case, but
All right.
he's
Well,
gone
if you
till
want to
like
talk,
the
I'm
end
going
of
to
the
send
month.
you. Okay.
I was just saying,
I'm
like,
going to
I
send
was
you my
gonna be on
phone.
tonight. I took my mom to dinner instead, and I don't know. I've just been trying to keep myself busy with work and things, but it's just like I don't know what to
I can
do
hear that. I can
without
hear that in
her.
your voice. I'm gonna send you my phone number if you want to talk. Please just give me a call,
Oh,
okay?
you're so sweet.
Yeah.
I would love
I
that.
know. Yeah,
I'll
let's
have your
let's
head
talk
off
this
for the
weekend
whole
first.
3 weeks.
That's okay. Let's talk this weekend, okay? Send me your phone
Okay,
number so I can check in on you, please,
I will. Oh,
okay?
you're the sweetest. Thank you so much. I will
Oh.
do that.
No, I could hear it in your voice. I was going to email you and ask you what was going on. I can just hear it. So we love you. And so many people, I've got to tell you, like when it's like any kind of live stream actually recently and you're not here, people are like, where is Suspicious? I love Suspicious. It's not the same with Suspicious. So just know that even through YouTube, you have an energy that cuts right through and people know what you're about and they want you and they're attracted to your energy and you are very much loved.
Well, that's sweet. That's such a nice
Yeah,
thing to
it's
say. I
true.
appreciate that. That warms
Yeah.
my heart, honestly, because
Oh.
it's like whenever you're not with someone or things go awry, it's like you feel less than. So that's very sweet to say. Thank you. That
Yeah.
means
Well, I mean, it's absolutely 100% true. And I'm sure plenty of people, I wish I could pin the chats
Aw.
right now because I'm sure plenty of people have the same sentiment. So,
That's the
yeah.
sweetest. Thank you.
Oh.
I will look for your email. Thank you. But I'll
Okay.
hop
Yes,
off. I'll let
I'll
you
email you
finish your thing.
shortly. Okay, sweetheart. Oh, we love Suspicious.
All right.
Jeez. All right. You're all right, sweetheart. Oh, goodness. So here. So wait, since I don't have another video showing, I'm just going to hold on everybody. I'm just going to do a quick refresh so I can just hopefully pin some of your comments. Going to take Hi. Okay, it's me again without the good camera, so I'm going to do this because I plugged my mic in instead. All right, there we go. DC Primetime says my heart goes out to the victims. Absolutely, it does. J Lord says baby wise is supposed to stop at 3 months. Well, the research I found was it can start anywhere from at various times, generally around 6 to 8 weeks, and it ends between a year and 18 months. That was the research I found, but there's different like levels of baby wise, and I don't know. And HRH, please. Thank you so much. Glad you were here. Please come back. And Sarah, thank you for coming up earlier. Glad you were here too. Sarah says, Bella, she's an old soul. Linda Olson says, Midwest girl. Yes, I think the 111-minute conversation with him and NK the hours before SW got home was his catalyst. She issued crazy ultimatums, in my opinion. She wanted to keep her. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yes, and that is right. I can't say your name. Love it though. And this is a good point, the dummy. Every one of those costed money to buy in. Probably she didn't want to admit failure. Yes. By the time, all of this was going on, Shanann was eyeball deep in the MLMs and it cost a lot of money. She invested a lot of her blood, sweat, tears, heart, soul, and hard-earned cash, including what I believe was the $10,000 that she took out of Chris's 401k to pay for the mortgage payments because they were behind 3 months. They never got paid for. I am sure they were dumped into the MLM. Everybody, please watch out for those MLMs. Charlene says, I'm just a woman with boatloads of emotion for this entire case and so much love for those girls. Me too, Charlene. Been studying the case for about 4 years now, and I personally understand loss after losing my only son. Oh, Charlene, I'm so very sorry. That's tragic, and I am so sorry. I wish I could give you a hug right now, Charlene. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. God, life is hard, guys. It is. And we don't need MLMs to make things harder. I just uploaded that video. It's Shanann MLMs and the Watts family bankruptcy. It's like a 50-minute video, a lot of comprehensive information. If you do want to see it, go check it out. Follow the link there. And Thank you guys all so very much for being here. I really appreciate you. I'm going to start to bring in, a couple other cases that we've been talking about. Again, I was MIA for a week because my last week of the summer school rotation that I was doing was super intense. I have about 3 weeks off now, so I'm going to be doing a little more of the Watts for the 5-year anniversary. Kevin, if you still want to do something with me for that, that would be great. And I'm going to be bringing in the Idaho case and some more again. I have a big thing on the Gilgo Beach coming up. I don't know, a number of different things. But thank you so much, everybody who is here. Thank you, Sarah and Sisfish, my girl. I love you, girl. I'm going to email you soon. Everyone send lots of love to Sisfish for coming up on panel. Thank you so much, moderators. As always, I really very much appreciate you. Thank you, new members, subscribers, people that are just checking out the channel. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We're glad you're here. You might want to come back. So, yeah. And let me see if I have a little outro for you. I'm not sure if I do or not for the Watts case. Or this was mostly like Murdaugh and kinds of crazy stuff. Adventures with a Purpose. Kylie Rodney. Oh my gosh. Let's see what I can find for you here. Actually, I don't think I can. I think I shut down. We'll play Bella as we're going out. Bella singing to Sweet Cece, or Sweet Bella singing to Sweet Cece. They're both sweethearts, but I meant to say Sweet Bella. So thank you guys again. And I'll be doing another live stream in a couple days, and I hope to see you here. I appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for your support of the channel.
Don't cover her eyes. You guys finish singing?